Hi, and welcome to another Stalling, the most professional podcast on this planet. And with me here today is Steelmage, Quinn, and Mathel. And we're going to talk about the upcoming Scourge expansion. Thank you guys all for joining me. We'll start off talking about the league itself. Quinn, first impressions. What are you thinking about the league mechanic?
The league mechanic. You basically get to corrupt stuff. Um, yeah, that's always poggers, right? That's always poggers.
That is always
Um,
poggers.
no, seriously, I don't know about some of the changes they're making to the corrupted items. Allowing you to modify corrupted items, exalt corrupted items, change everything. Like I don't know, I don't know if they're ruining corruption potentially. But no, I generally speaking, RNG mechanics that potentially can make your items insane. That's always going to be exciting, right? So whatever, dude. I'm down for that. Especially it's like kiss with a curse. So there's like positives and negatives. So it's like you potentially could find an item that could be absolutely insane for your build, where it like does the positive is something great for your build, and the negative also is great for your build.
What about
Which
like the danger? Like, is that something you're worried about? Are you switching to softcore this league? Like a lot of people are.
the wait, why are you kidding me, dude? The, am I changing to pussy cuck core? No, of course I'm not doing that, dude. Okay, I'm not a beta. Okay, no, I really I'm looking at the trees right now, especially with spell suppression and all the changes they're making to the defensive layers. It seems like this is going to be the league where everyone is invulnerable, right? Like
Yeah,
it looks really like a hardcore league. If you ask me, it looks like a hardcore league. Like
I
I don't think
agree.
it's even. I don't think I'm. I don't even know if I'll have a
Yeah.
deathless league.
well,
Well, why are people swapping to softcore? This
on an
is
unrelated note, we can swap to steel mace then. Do you want to tell us a little bit about the softcore choice for this league?
Right, so I made this door analogy the other day, which is pretty good, but the idea is simple, right? Certain tiers of content are sort of gated behind, you need a certain level of power, right? So the difference between this league is that final gate, that final tier of content is like really juiced up now. So you obviously Delve is a lot more accessible. You're gonna get more bosses and all that kind of stuff, so that's like a lot more appealing. That was already a thing that was kind of inaccessible to hardcore, but now it's like a lot better, I reckon. Then you've got the Wave 30 Simulacrum, so that Uber content, the Uber Legion, the Uber Blight, so you got all that new endgame content, which I think is gonna be really, really hard. I mean, maybe I'm overestimating the difficulty of it. I mean, I don't expect Uber Blights to be that bad, but definitely the Delve, the Legion, the Simulacrum, I think is gonna be really hard. And so I was thinking, if I want to actually do that content, maybe because I've been talking about playing SC for a while, so I mean, it seems like a good league to try, right? I mean, And I also,
so.
for the record, sorry, what were you gonna say?
No, I was just gonna say. So, I mean, I guess that makes sense. Like, you just saw all the aspirational content, and you thought, I'd love to do that, and that makes much more sense on softcore.
Exactly, yeah. Because like it's hard to do even the feared, right? On hardcore, it's hard to do the feared. Like I don't think you even really farm it. You just do it, right? You don't. I know Octavian, I think, did it a bit, but even he died eventually, right? So it's kind of hard to actually farm that content on hardcore, right? So if you just
I
want
mean,
to do the
having the
content,
risk of dying to the feared, like that should be completely acceptable, right? You shouldn't be like building your character to hardcore stats where you go, okay, now I can't die to this thing. Time to just keep farming. It should always be a bit of a thrill, right?
Yeah,
Otherwise, why the fuck are you playing hardcore?
I agree.
I play
No, but
hardcore
okay,
because I don't want to die. You know.
still. Okay, okay. So think about this though. Think about this little thought
All
experiment
right.
right here.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Can you do something for the first time more than once?
Oh,
You can't. You literally can't. So what's going to be more poggers? Doing the new Uber content for the first time, blind on hardcore, okay, or doing it on
Right.
softcore, where it's just guaranteed. Of course you can do it. It's like there's no like it's not the first one is like you could do it if you get a massive EP, right? And you're a literal god gamer, or you could just die trying, which would also be exciting. Whereas softcore, it's a guaranteed thing. Like, of course, Mathel's gonna do all the Uber content. Like, he'll just die until he completes it all, right? You know. Whereas if
No.
you steal Mage, the literal, the legend goes in. Will he do it, or will he die? Nobody knows, right? I mean, isn't that just way more because you can't once you do it on softcore, you can't do it again for a second time.
So it depends on what kind of fun you want to have, because there's the fun of doing something the first, being the world first, or maybe even if it's just your first, right? Doing that first hardcore experience, I get that take. And I feel like I did that last league. I did Maven without logging out. I did
again.
did the gauntlet.
It's badass.
I did that.
You were shaking, bro. You were like, it was it was epic to watch. All right,
it was fun,
won't
right?
be epic to watch the softcore
To be-
version of that. I mean,
To be fair, though, he's allowed a holiday. He won the fucking gauntlet.
Yeah.
He can do whatever he wants. He
I mean,
already
he
laid
can do
out
whatever
his
he wants.
massive, girthy cock on the table
He
and
can
was
do
like,
whatever he
I am
wants.
the best.
I agree, but I mean, no, but he's the best for that. And now, I mean, if he doesn't play hardcore and Darky does the new shit before him, I mean, then at that point, he's being dethroned, right?
I'm okay
Speaking
with
of
that.
like
for a
being the
league.
best, right? If he's the best, doesn't it say everything that needs to be said about hardcore? If the best player in all of Path of Exile hardcore chooses to play softcore, especially after even doing the hardest, most insane version of
What?
everything on Gauntlet. And he's just like,
everyone
nah,
washes
this
up
mode's
at a point,
shit.
right? Everyone washes up. As at the end of the day, people have to retire. If Steel Mage can't, handle it anymore, and he has to go to Cuckcore, like it is what it is.
So
I was thinking actually of retiring from PoE and playing a child's mobile game. I was thinking.
That'd be too cuck, mate. You can't stoop that low. You got standards, right?
did you have any games
Honestly,
in mind,
that
Steelmate?
sounds like a more viable option. Like, I mean, in the long term, PoE, I don't know if you've seen the stats. It's kind of a dying game. It's like Balloons, on the other hand. I mean, I don't know if we were talking about that. That seems like what you're. Okay, that is a trend with. I mean, it is
you're the one that
literally
brought
only
up
growing.
balloons. We weren't talking about balloons. We were talking about children's
Yeah.
mobile games, and then you just
Okay, yeah.
randomly threw in the balloons.
Oh, okay. We all know what you were saying. All right, everyone's hating on balloons for no reason. It's honestly disgusting.
So I have a different approach to Steel. Like, I would honestly be excited if I can't do the content this league, because then I have something to aspire to for next league. I have something to look forward to. Like, I
The
like
ultimate stall.
But-
well, in a way,
but you know
yeah.
that-
Like, if I go
But
software, I
next
know
league-
I will do it.
Yeah, but you know that next league they're gonna have like an entire in-game rework, right? And they're gonna be like a fucking 500,000 new bosses.
Yeah, sure.
Well, we don't know what they're gonna have, like the new Mave. I mean, so it's like then you've got more. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, there would probably be like it's a year since Awakener next league, so it's very likely we're getting a new boss as well next league. But I don't know, like Methel pointed out, like I don't know, for me, dying is the most exciting thing about hardcore. Like, so I like dying.
You get a lot of excitement every league.
Yeah, I died 5 times last league. That's great. 3
that
because
it?
of the stupid logout challenge, which I'm not doing again.
I'm gonna ask you how you feel about hardcore when you die this league's is. Straight away I'm gonna go into chat and I'm gonna link this clip. Okay.
But I don't mind dying.
When he's at
I
peak
do.
depression.
I don't. That's why I play
You
hardcore.
remember that one? Ziz, you remember that one death was you died to those like skitterbot looking things? To the
Yeah,
on-death
okay, that was
explosion
dumb as
whenever-
fuck.
You were fucking. I remember you were fuming.
Yeah, 'cause that was dumb as fuck.
I mean-
That got nerfed 3 times since I died to it the first time.
Well,
Ugh.
if this league is any indicator, it's probably gonna be the same bullshit again.
I'll beta test
So-
it. I'll beta test it.
Yeah.
Mathel, what
Mhm.
about you? How do you feel about the league mechanic?
I mean, yeah, I thought it was interesting that Quinn only talked about like the kind of crafting or item ramifications of it. I think the actual mechanic, like gameplay wise, looks really fun.
Mhm.
The new mobs and mob types and shit. Always in for like some more demon type themed shit, and looks really cool. Usually I'm not that into a league mechanic. It's kind of an afterthought. It's like, oh, all the other cool changes, and then maybe the league mechanic's all right. I'm actually looking forward to like the league mechanic more than anything right now. So I think it looks really cool. And yes, the ramifications of item crafting. I kind of agree that it seems so weird, a little scuffed that you're going from like, here's corruptions all these years ago. It means your item is fucked. It's unchangeable. It's done. And now we're going to have like 15 different ways to alter them. It's just, harder to attain. Seems to say, I don't know, it could have been a different mechanic instead of like altering corruptions. It could have been something else that kind of like alters your items and shit. But that doesn't fucking bother me, honestly. Just I'm really looking forward to trying out the mechanics, seeing the monsters, and feeling the aesthetic, the vibe, that sort of thing.
Yeah, I mean, I really like the way it looks like a really smooth transition because I had a miserable experience in Delirium just because of performance issues, but I really liked how smooth it was, right? Like you're running through the mirror, boom, you're in the league mechanic. There's no like blight
Hmm.
stopping you for 30 minutes or something like that. So I really like that. It just looks nice and it looks very rippy and dangerous, which is always
I
exciting.
was going to say, at the same time, you're not worried about just getting fucked from all
Oh, yeah.
angles. You're like, all right, press it and swamp dead.
Yeah, 100%. I'm fully expecting that. I'm gonna press it at level 12 or something and be like, oh, that was a fucking mistake. But I don't know.
You're
I
going
mean,
to engage with it while leveling?
yeah, I've started pretty much always engaging with the league mechanic while leveling. Um, it's generally worked out. I mean, I do get a few deaths here and there, but it's fun, right? I like it. What about the rest of you? Do you usually like engage with the league mechanic early still?
If I was
No.
smart, I wouldn't because it's.
We already
you know,
know the answer to that, right? He always just waits for you to like suss it out and die to it, and then he goes in on it if it's okay.
True. True.
Yeah. I do have a bad habit of doing the whole stream at Andy thing where it's like you gotta show off the new content, but ideally, on a perfect run, you would just ignore it.
Yeah, for sure. If I was literally just racing and I didn't care about my stream, I'd be ignoring it. But people love like carnage. Quinn, what about you?
Instantly, bro. Deep dick. all maximum content, homie. Yeah. I remember a few back it was a while ago. I remember none of the professional PvE streamers were going into the content whatsoever.
Mhm.
I remember it was like people were raging whenever they were forced into it. Dude, you remember that one with the where everyone was dying to the Betrayal League?
Yeah,
Because you couldn't really escape them, and it was just murdering everyone, and they were just pissed off that they were forced into doing the lead mechanic. I was like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm the complete opposite. I'm down.
Here,
Level 1,
Yeah.
bro.
I really want to see Quinn by Oak with the league mechanic active. That's what I want to see.
How does that even work? Is it like a demonic oak, or is it like a,
It'll probably just add
entirely
like
different-
loads of ads, right?
Gives him more HP
I mean,
regen.
Maybe more healing, yeah.
We'll see. Okay, dude.
Oh, that'd be great.
It
That'd be
happened
good
one
content.
time. It happened one time, okay, bro. It was all right on a rant. It was a trash. I had bad luck on the build, and there's some bad coding going on.
I think that is my favorite Path of Exile clip.
Yeah, I mean that's content, right?
Yeah,
Right there.
100%.
I was gonna say it happened one time, but the clip is infamous, and everybody knows that
Everybody loves it.
Oak's a tough mob.
Was very hard. Kind of needed frostbomb there.
Dude, I'm telling it's not just me. There was people on Reddit complaining about Oak. All right. I saw many people in chat talking about how bad Oak was. All right.
Yeah, no,
Heck,
it was
nobody's me.
definitely a big problem. That you needed a lot of damage, which obviously you struggle with sometimes. But I just had to get it out there. It's just cozy. But yeah, no, honestly, I think we're all pretty excited about the league. I don't think I've ever been this hyped from just seeing a trailer in League, so what I'm most looking forward to. And for the next topic, patch notes.
Wait, what makes you so hyped? Like
It's just the
I
fact-
remember I saw your tweet and stuff, and I'm like, so what? Why?
So
what's doing it?
I
for him?
really didn't like the last two mechanics because I felt like, or not just the mechanics, but just like the patch notes in the last two leagues. I didn't feel like I had a build that really clicked with me, and that I won't know yet, right? Like sometimes you have a league where you have a build that like it feels like this is your build, right? It really clicks with you, feels good to play. That's one of the most important things for me. Didn't feel like I had that the last two leagues, but one of the things that I've been complaining about the most is I feel like they've gone more and more away from chase items, right? I've been less and less excited for things dropping. And then, I always loved the things like Brass Stone dropping from Minotaur and stuff like that. So I had a specific place where I could farm that. Then they put those into the global fucking drop pool. Suddenly I'm getting a Brass Stone like in tier 1 maps. And I'm like, well, this shouldn't be here. And they've just been like, I feel like there's so many more of these things, and I love the risk reward of the new corruption mechanic. I wish that it was, I don't know, maybe a little bit more punishing. I love like the super risky exalted orb where like it can remove one or add one. That's really cool. The fusings and chromes and armor scraps and stuff are a little bit like, this is just modifying corrupted items. I'm not a huge fan of those. It would be cooler if they could destroy things maybe. But I love the fact that it just seems like so much chase this league, and like the risk and reward.
So just a lot of changes that we asked for, and you're happy that they listened, etc.
Yeah, finally, yeah, it's great, and it looks very smooth, right? Like I do like in-depth mechanics like synthesis and things, but I've never really liked mechanics like and that was again mostly the crafting part, to be honest, of synthesis. But like expedition, I wasn't a huge fan of. That'll hopefully be better now that it's core. But also like blight, right, where it just takes you really out of the loop, and that content itself wasn't fun. Synthesis was different because once I went into the synthesis, that was very similar to mapping, and I enjoyed that loop. Whereas I don't enjoy the blight loop at all.
I think it's just funny you said it looks smooth. Like, I get what you mean gameplay wise, right? Because I'd have a feeling that, with a whole bunch of people returning, a lot of hype around the league, servers are going to be trash. And this mechanic specifically looks like it could be one where, shitload of frame drops and stuff, where you press a button and it just fucking turns everything a different color and all that. And we just fucking stutter and crash and all kinds of shit. So it might be anything but smooth, technically wise. But, yeah,
I hope
like
not.
as far as incorporating gameplay, yes.
Yeah, that's definitely what I'm like the most excited for. I'm pretty worried about
I think
performance.
you're an emotional dude, Ziz. That's what I think. I think you're an emotional dude. You're a real empath, And then naturally, when there's a lot of negativity surrounding a
Oh, yeah.
league, you're just picking up on that, and then you're feeling like more depressed and shitty. Whereas everyone seems to be quite hyped and poggies about this league, then naturally you're picking up on that energy. And I feel like that goes for a lot of people. A lot of the people out there who are like, that like if the communities are real negative, they're just like, oh well, I can't be fucked even playing the game because no one's feeling good about it, kind of thing. I feel like that seems to be a large thing for a lot of people.
I mean, people
True.
are saying that's a cooked take, but is actually 100% nailing it, because people have been asking like, Ziz, what do you want to see for 3.16? I'd just be saying, I want to see the community happy. I'm fucking miserable when everyone is like, when I'm getting like
Ugh.
3-4 messages a day, playing like dead game, why are you playing this? And people are just negative. It's so fucking awful to stream. Whereas whenever like everyone is like, dude, this is so fucking fun, I love streaming. It's so much better. I absolutely love it when everyone's happy. So yeah, you're right. That is definitely adding to the hype as well.
Yeah, I mean, he is right. You go. So even last league when I was like broken clock right twice a day, right? So anyway, like even last league when I was having a fucking a lot of fun personally, and sometimes when I'd like go to Reddit, for example, because my stream was usually kind of positive in general, so it wasn't really bumming me out too much. I'd go check in on Reddit or something and be like, oh, this sucks, this is bad, this is bad. And all of a sudden, I'd feel less good about the game. I'd be like, I don't want to play at the moment, even though I just then thought it was all good and I'm looking forward to the next stream. Like, negativity can just bring you right the fuck down.
Yep.
And then on top of that, a lot of you guys, but I think you took it particularly hard with the logout things in your stream. You had to answer a lot about logout macros and fight that shit. So I'm pretty sure the first week of the last league was like real depressing for you.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, people are really toxic. I'm not a big fan of whenever people do get like hardcore versus softcore, because I always say as well, right? The only way to play a game wrong is to not have fun, right?
Yeah, Quinn.
What? And if like softcore, yeah, true. Yeah.
It's just important to have fun, right? So I hate when like people are so like adversarial. I just hate each other. I hate that. But yeah. What about you, Steele? Are you affected by that stuff a lot, or?
Yeah, I think I've already told you. Wait, I don't know if I have. I just hide the feedback threads. Like, there's a res filter. You just hide that tag, and then Reddit's like, great. It's awesome.
That's fair.
So I don't have that problem anymore.
Yeah. No,
Easy.
it's rough.
I prefer to be good at my job and read everything that I need to feedback wise.
Hey.
Like,
I don't view my job, J Omega LB, as like being some sort of pathway from the community to the developers. You know what I mean? I just play the game, so I'm good with that. You know, I'll just ignore. I'll just I'll just have fun or not have fun and close my ears and put my head in the sand and just do what I'm doing. I'm good with that.
I mean, I agree. I don't want to be a fucking tool for that, and I want nothing to do with balance changes generally, or to have like any sort of opinion or influence. I just think gotta have your finger on the button and like be able to know everything that you need to about your area and community.
I mean, the way I look at it is, we're playing Soul 7 hardcore. It's already really niche most of the time. If I do represent a part of the community, we're like 0.1%. You know, we're like very niche anyway. So even if I was sort of like a pathway, I would be representing like completely different community to Reddit anyway. Honestly,
True.
like the people complaining about damage, for example, right? I mean, I never have damage. I just care about survivability. So easy.
True.
Easy DPS every build.
Yeah.
Just don't die.
Yeah, you guys both like kind of have that like in common, for sure. Like it is really nice to be tanky on hardcore.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is bring back to like the start of the thing. I do think that there's too much defense going around now. Like I think it's going to be boring watching hardcore streams at the moment, because I don't expect any of you to die to like anything, except for maybe that aspirational content. I think you're all just going to be too thick. You got your champions with your fucking 400,000 armor and 20 million evasion and spell suppress and full block and all that sort of shit. I think there's just too much of that going around now, and I want to see you die more, and I don't think I'm going to get it. Is the
Well,
problem?
I think that also depends a little bit on how much you interact with the league mechanic. I think you're right. Like I think on a really good tanky character now in tier 16s, I can't see anything really killing you outside of like massive fuck ups and things like DD maybe walking into it. But the Scourge mechanic looks really rippy for generic mapping. And you do have the corrupted maps too, right? Which I don't know if you consider that aspirational content.
Forgot about that. Yeah, those will be fun.
Yeah. So I think there will be deaths. But yeah, we can talk. There's a lot to talk about today because they obviously brought out so much new stuff. Patch notes. Patch notes came out way earlier than before, which at least I really love. Even though like it was still harder to make builds than normal, it gave, at least for me, like a better idea of things I could start working on earlier. Really good for doing YouTube content and stuff. And was there anything that really stood out? Quinn, do you want to start with like talking about the patch notes in general?
Well, there's something actually in regards to the patch notes that's still standing out
Mhm.
right now. So I don't know if you guys remember whenever they talked about the whole redesign to damage over time effects,
Yeah.
and how they're changing everything, basically making it less like EE and more just straight like base damage, etc. Okay, they mentioned Flame Surge is getting a new like you keep attacking the mob with Flame Surge, or casting the spell, puts a dot on the ground, and it ramps up for single target DPS. And then in that, they also made the comment, this will also be happening for attack-based, ignites as well. But they haven't. We haven't seen anything. They haven't.
Did
they
you
haven't said
reply on
anything.
your tweet?
No, not
Mhm.
like. Let me check.
You're right.
So
You're right. That is
I'm
weird.
still kind of waiting out, because I would love to go an attack-based ignite build, that ramps, because I don't know if you know, but I really like ramping builds. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, if that isn't
So
added as well, there's Ice Crash looks pretty solid.
Love the ramping builds, don't you?
I'm a ramping. I'm like natural. It's my favorite type of damage. I like bleed. I
Yeah.
like poison. I like ignite. Something about the mob's HP bar kind of draining. It just gets me going in the morning. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, it's really fun.
But yeah, I don't know. Overall, I guess I'm a bit. I do like to see buffs and nerfs, and there wasn't that many. So I guess there's nothing like when it comes down to it. The patch notes really weren't. I don't think I really had any revelations when I was going through them. I don't know. They were totally neutral on them. I mean, all the changes that are significant to me are the ones that are happening to the tree, right? Which weren't in the patch notes.
Right. So like the masteries and things like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, because I think you're pretty similar to me there, where you like just you don't really care what gets buffed or nerfed. You just want to see extreme changes every patch, right?
Oh, fortify. I mean, the whole fortify changes actually. That's
Mhm.
probably I kind of miss. Yeah, probably miss out on that. I mean, this is something I've been saying that you do. I don't even remember, but ExileCon, I was having a heated argument and debate with Neon about how fortify shouldn't work for the caster cucks and the range cucks, and the fact that they were getting it was complete bullshit. I was having a straight up 1v1, and then it got. I don't know. Were you there, Mathel? I'm pretty sure
I
you
was
were there,
there.
right?
I
Yeah.
don't know if it was
I
getting
mean,
heated, but I mean, you were passionately yelling at him, and he's just like, okay,
no,
yeah,
he was like,
yeah.
nah, yeah, well, don't really. He just didn't get. It just nonchalantly brushed it off like it wasn't. And now they seem to have just kind of gone. I mean, I love it. I love the fact that it's effectively a relative speaking melee buff, and as a melee enthusiast, it was great to see. Really good to see.
Yeah. No, it was very very interesting, especially like releasing it so early. And I want to say as well, I love the new format for the manifestos and the notes where they're doing like problem solution. That I quite like that. Steel.
Um, I mean, we saw a lot of the patch notes already with the manifesto, so obviously for me, most of the relevant stuff, like I said, all the defense changes, the aura stuff, all that was already, we already knew that. So I kind of just skimmed it, honestly. Like Quinn said, I mean, I also had the same thought about Flame Surge, because Ignite builds suffer greatly from single target. They are one of my favorite archetypes. Like he mentioned it with ramping builds, right? So I like Bleed too. I don't like Poison as much, but that being said, I might be league starting a Poison build. And Ignite, right? Ignite was my actual first 100. But like I said, they suffer from single target. The Flame Surge thing is like, it's a big unknown. Like, does the Burning Ground scale? Or is it just like a one-off sort of 50% more multiplier? Like, what's going on there? So
Right. I mean, we can talk about the things from the manifesto too. Like there is obviously a lot of changes, but like ailments are for the most part like kind of removed from the game now. They're like a lot easier to bypass than they were before. It's a very big change.
yeah, I don't know how you guys are PUBing, but I'm just kind of like assuming I'm gonna have ailment immunity. Is that stupid?
No, I'm doing
just
the
like,
same.
I'm just like, just ignore ailment immunity. You'll just craft it on gear.
Uh-huh.
Is
Yeah,
that
you just
what
fix
people
it
are
as
doing?
you go, and then fix it if you need to fix it, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is
So
it?
I'm
Is it
mostly
three
ignoring it.
crafts? 3 crafts and an anoint? Is it? Or do you have to
It's
have
even
more?
easier than that,
Please.
because I think you could just do like gloves and boots and like implicits on gear, or I don't
Yeah.
know. It's like pretty doable. I
Think
think.
right? Maybe I shouldn't go Raider then, dude. I don't know. I'm just kind of like thinking about going Raider now. I'm thinking maybe you don't.
Raider.
Yeah, dude, bro.
Missed it by a
you
league, buddy.
Yeah.
instant ailment immunity and spell suppression cap. Okay, like
Yeah, but
it's pretty tight.
those are both kind of free though. You
Well, I
can
mean, I
just
did
not
it on
play
a
Raider.
gladiator as
I'm-
well, and it was
Have
like,
you
but
have you looked at Scion Raider? That gets a lot of spell suppression, and it's really easy to get ailment immune anyway.
I saw that. I mean, I was trying. I kind of looked at it, but then it's just like watered down. And I don't know. Something about Scion that I used to be a big Scion fan. Whenever like, there was that OP duel that gave you like the crazy crit multi and stuff in the Scion starting area, which got nerfed into the ground to the point where it's like, Anyway, but no, I don't know. Scion is too watered down for me. I like to go big. I like to like pick an archetype and then just go hardcore into it. Right, super niche. Even if it's like trash at like half the game, like I'd rather like have one thing that I'm good at versus being kind of like a utilitarian.
All right, that makes sense. Mathel, anything that really stood out about the patch notes?
I'm not gonna lie, I don't fucking remember the patch notes. Like it was mostly, it was most of the stuff that was important came from the manifesto. So then by the time I got to the patch notes, I was just like stalling and then being somewhat drunk and then just getting through it. And at the end of it all, I'm just like, I'm pretty sure none of that mattered and it was fine. And most of it was manifesto. So I don't know if I even made a video on it or anything. Recap. I think I just went, yeah, Manifesto took care of it, and I think there were patch notes. They were long. I was drunk, whatever.
Wow.
Yep,
Was-
good take. Yep.
Was not
Yeah.
expecting that, but yeah, it's fair. I think I think the favorite change, like skill tree wise and everything for me this league is like I love the mastery system. I just think it's a really cool system. It might not like be perfect right now. Obviously, some people were complaining their builds were weaker and stuff, but I think the mastery system is just really cool. And I think especially like looking forward in the future, there's so much build potential here of things that are like very exciting. There were some things that just seemed very weirdly designed. Like at least when I looked at it, sword, just I was like, did they like somebody else decide this? Because you look at sword and then you look at axe, and you're like, the fuck happened here?
I mean, it's not the best example. They're both still pretty decent. Obviously, Axe is way better. It's more like the Axe and the Staff. When I was looking at those two, I was just like, that's definitely not the same person doing like masteries.
yeah.
It's crazy because I
Look
can
at
take like
Axe made to
4
wand.
staff notes.
Like, do you see wand, bro?
Yeah,
You see
one's
the guy
Yeah,
do
insane.
both
wand?
Axe and Wand are like really fucking
What
good.
the fuck's that wand one? How does that
Yeah.
exist?
Yeah.
Like, because I was looking at Axe and looking at one and being like, well, why the fuck would I ever not like the one seems so like it's like 3 times as good.
See, for hardcore,
I
I
get it,
actually
but-
like stuff.
Like they're separate
Wait, you-
things.
wait, you-
Wand and Axe. What are you comparing there?
I mean, what am I comparing? What? I'm pissed off that Axe literally, if you want to be a bleed build nowadays, pretty much you just gotta go Gladiator because they removed like fucking all the bleed on the tree. Like if you look at the Axe wheel now, the 30% bleed or whatever, and the bleed duration, faster bleed, it's like all gone. There's no bleed chance in the Axe mastery. It makes so it means you have to effectively get the only bleed wheel on the tree and then roll like bleed jewels with a bleed suffix on your axe, and it's super cringe. Whereas before,
I mean,
back in my day, man, you could invest a lot of points and get bleed on the tree, and you could be a bleed jug, you could be a bleed whatever you want. But nowadays, it's like you just could pretty much be a gladiator or like craft a very hyper specific niche axe.
There was never that much on the tree to begin with. I mean, it was. I don't think much has changed in that regard. There's still good
they
masters
removed
for it, and typically you go for like clusters either way. But I don't know.
But
If you say Scion's still a really good choice, similar to Gladiator, I think. If you've looked at the Scion Glad area, it's pretty good.
Yeah, Scion is decent.
I hate Scion. I hate Scion.
Don't you love the Scion life wheel?
I'm saying, look at
I
the
do.
Scion
Yeah,
Glad thing, and you'll probably really fucking enjoy looking at it because it is like similar to Gladiator in power. And then you still get half of something else.
What is it like? 20% bleed, just with some like
Some
20% more
blocks
bleed or
and
something? What is it?
fucking-
Let's see.
I don't remember what but it looked good.
Scion Gladiator is 5% chance to block attack damage, 10%, or sorry, 5% max. Wait, is this updated? I think it is, yeah. Maybe it isn't. Wasn't it 3% max block attack damage now? I can't
It
remember.
was 5.
Okay, well, at least my POB says 5 max, 10% chance, 25% chance to blind with attacks, and 20 more physical damage over time. And hits ignore enemy monster physical damage reduction if you've blocked in the past 20 seconds. Alright, it went from 3 to 5. That was it. So yeah, 5 max. It's really good.
Yeah, I mean, like, a lot of like
You
most
get luck
important
getting-
shit from Glad is already there.
Good luck getting bleed cap though without the fucking 50% bleed chance. I understand. So they straight up removed 30% bleed chance from the tree after they already removed bleed chance from the tree the patch before that. So it's
Is that your main
now you're at
complaint
the
that it's like hard to get bleed chance?
bleed chance is yeah, literally. Like I'm not even kidding. Like they've just deleted all the bleed
10%,
chance.
15%, 15%. Yeah, that's not a lot. And
That's
then I
systematically
guess you
removed.
got to use chance to bleed gem as well.
You
Well,
don't
that's
use
the thing,
that
I don't-
because yeah.
It's really terrible.
Is it? Doesn't it have good bleed damage on it?
Yeah, but
got
the
flat
flat does
pheasant bleed.
nothing. The flat's like kind of irrelevant, so it's just that more multiplier basically. Is the
Yeah,
problem.
which is still a decent multiplier these days. 19% more, 25% chance. It's not bad compared to, a lot of other things that got scuffed.
Yeah,
Especially if you
they
need
did
to
lower
cap your
everything.
blade.
Or you just be a gladiator and then you just get the bleed chance and then you just use a gem that like you just put ruthless in or whatever and you just do like way more damage. That's why I'm saying it's BS, bro. It's BS.
Hey, I do remember watching you deal with this. I see what you're saying because Razor's Edge and Cleaving don't have bleed on it anymore. But
Yeah.
I do see the problem.
But
Normally, you could at least
they
anoint
need
it.
Axe Mastery. You need Axe
Yeah.
Mastery, which says 50% chance to bleed on it or something, or like I don't know, 40% chance to bleed or something. So then other people who aren't gladiators,
Dude,
I mean,
it doesn't even have bleed chance.
that's what I'm
It's
saying.
terrible.
It's bullshit. It's bullshit. Like that's why I was raging, and that's why I'm not even like normally I'm pretty high. I'm like I'm like there's a 50% chance when I roll. Am I gonna go bleed this league? This league, dude. I'm not even considering it. Like
Where's the bleed chance gone? Where
Well,
did they put
is
it?
that not a good thing? Changing up your
it's removed.
playstyle, your archetype, is that not a good thing? Encouraging you to do
They've
other
removed.
shit?
Nah, they've removed choice method, and that's bad. The whole point was just supposed to have extra
Right. So
more
when
choice.
you had a lot of choice, you'd always go bleed, and now that you don't
No, I
have
mean
the
you could go a
choice,
bleed jug, or you can go a bleed glad, or you could go a bleed
yeah, but
slayer,
it's
or you can
still
go
all
bleed.
bleed.
You can go any of the archetypes that are good, but with bleed. And now it's like you pretty much you're like shoehorned into doing gladiator, which is already OP as hick. So just not a big fan being a
Nice
meta cut
save.
gladiator.
Fucking terrible.
Did you say hacking?
I did.
Yeah, I'm trying. Yeah, we're trying to like make this it's PG for the podcast, right?
Oh, that's nice. That's sweet.
It hasn't been so far, no.
Yeah, not really. Not really. Yeah, no, I mean, I don't really care too much about the bleed stuff. Not a huge bleed fan myself, I'm sorry.
Damn, you just shit on half this podcast.
No, I mean they can like their things. They can like their things. I just don't really mind that much.
like then, Zeus? What masteries do you like then?
What did I like a lot? Honestly, I think a lot of them were really cool. I really like the stat ones a lot more than I thought. Even just the ones that are like 5 strength, int, or dex per mastery points. Like that's gonna be so nice for fixing. Like you're probably gonna have a lot less of a reason to take like the 30 strength nodes and stuff. These will be enough to like fix to be able to wear gear. So
Have you taken any like pure stat things in your trees yet?
lately, yeah, like not this league,
Except for int stacking. Well, I'm
No,
saying, yeah,
that-
while building this with
Oh,
the
no, for
mastery
sure.
shit, have you taken any?
Oh yeah. In most of my builds, I would have like, for example, all my ES builds, right? They're gonna run utmost intellect. Sometimes they struggle in dex or strength,
Well, sure.
and that's like fixed a lot now. And then generally on builds that are anywhere down the bottom left, then I would take the utmost might, because it is still a decent amount of life.
You actually take utmost might just for like life?
Well, I mean, if it's a build that's really struggling on int and dex anyway, and if the choice is doing that or taking 30 dex or 30 int, then yeah, of course, I'd rather take that and get more strength, more damage for if there's a build using the fist scaling. You use 1 point for that.
Maybe.
That's way better than because early league you can easily struggle with dex and int on a lot of characters. Like
Oh yeah, for sure. Just don't know if
So-
you would take the strength. That's all. I see what you're saying with the int though. You're right about the int. I just don't know about the strength.
I just think it's a really nice option for like the first 3 days of the league. Like I really like that they're there. And just a lot of them are very exciting. I like the chaos ones, look pretty cool.
Chaos ones are sick. Can
Yeah.
confirm. Those ones are actually like the poison one. I think that used to be a cluster. Gives
Yeah.
you 300% increased damage. I was actually thinking about this. Maybe Mathel's got the take here because Mathel's probably he's probably the most knowledgeable when it comes to build creation.
Mhm.
I was thinking for leveling, 300% increased damage on non-poison enemies. You can take that like just while leveling, and that's like 300% increased damage, right? That should
Yeah.
make it pretty good, right?
Yeah, as far as I was concerned, I saw that. I'm like, oh shit, you can become poison almost immediately and actually feel good about it.
That's exactly my take. Yeah.
Like you can
Yeah, so
definitely
that's
force it right now, but it takes like a whole bunch of gems, and you really have to take path into a whole bunch of certain nodes and all that. And getting that thing, as long as you get like a good amount of poison chance to start with, I think that node, which you can bum rush and get by like level 10 or some shit, should
Mhm.
like make poison's concoction, whatever the fuck it's called, definitely extremely viable early on.
Yeah.
I was like
Yeah,
my
so I'm-
build. I was thinking about a Pathfinder poison concoction with that node. So that's it
Whoa.
sounds like
My
you described
build.
my build right
That's
Now
now.
my
there's an
build.
original idea.
But that's my build, bro. I wrote it in Notepad like days ago, bro.
I already posted it as a starter build video, mate. Fuck off.
This is a Mathel build. It's always a Mathel build, Quinn.
Yeah.
Actually, I don't know if you know. Actually, speaking of this, I actually ran a double cluster duel setup of what is it? Wasn't it 400%? I think it was better on the cluster duel, or whatever, dude.
Maybe,
It was
yeah.
two of
Oh,
them
yeah.
with Beanos, Viper Strike duration, and you would
I
stab a
remember
guy,
this.
and it put a big fucking poison up with a crazy increase, and there was spread.
I also
Okay, let
remember
me
you
tell
got
you.
slammed by a totem and got one shot. I also
Yeah,
remember that.
it was bad. It was a badass build till it died. Okay, it was sure. All right.
You got hit. I mean, it is what it is.
And like with the chaos one in particular, I really fucking like shit like the top chaos one, like chaos damage over time per 4% chaos res. I love things like that change like the way you approach the game with res. So that's one of the reasons Choir of the Storm is one of my favorite uniques, because it entirely changes how you approach lightning res, right? On gear when it's 1% crit chance per overcamp lightning res. I love shit
Yeah.
like that.
I actually used
didn't-
that because Occultist gets the Chaos Res, and there's a new Chaos Res node on the tree next to Ghost Dance. So I actually do that. Exactly what you just said. I'm actually doing that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you're right, yeah.
Seems like a really bad node to me because we've always got minus 60 chaos res, so I don't know how it gives you any damage. Like, you guys taking chaos res? Is that what hardcore players do? Oh, the effort.
Am I playing softcore wrong metal?
You
Am I
are
playing
actually,
softcore
yeah.
wrong?
Yeah, start rebuilding your trees to have minus 60 chaos res, dude.
Right. My
Have
bad,
you
my
seen
bad.
Lightning Mastery, boys?
Yeah.
Have
I
you seen
not.
it? Okay, the
Oh, yeah, it's
synergy
really
between
good.
some of the lightning ones, bro. I'm telling you. Okay, listen to this one here. Lightning damage with non-critical strikes is lucky. Okay, plus EO, bro. Like I plugged that into a build that I was, theory crafting with laser with the lightsabers. Now that build was trash DPS, but the relative increase in damage just with EO and
lucky.
lightning damage being non-crit lucky is so crazy.
Yeah.
And then also the conversion, and then plus, dude, non-projectile chaining lightning skills chain plus 1 time. Like what?
It
Are you
is.
thinking
You know,
Static
the
Strike?
lucky one was on a cluster jewel like this entire time, right?
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
it was the rarest thing on the lightning cluster, if I remember right. It was a pretty annoying thing to roll.
It was pretty, I don't know, it was always attainable, and not too many builds used it, to be honest.
Yeah.
We need a
but
lightning
it's not.
cluster. We need a lightning. Oh yeah, my bad. The issue with it is that it's all at the top part of the tree. And if you're playing a good build, it's at the bottom part of the tree. So then you can't get the top. You can't get it. So you have all these sweet lightning masteries, but it's at the bad part of the tree.
Yeah, as we all know, the only good builds are the ones that live at the bottom of the tree.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's just a fact.
There is actually a new tweet while we're doing this podcast by the PoE Twitter. I wonder if this will show it. If I move it a bit, it will. It's a tainted chaos orb. Unpredictably, either reforges a corrupted rare item with new random modifiers or removes all of its modifiers. Wow.
I legit don't see the point.
Why? Yeah. Why would you want to chaos orb a corrupted item? I guess if
Implicit,
you've got
I
like
guess?
a
It
really
keeps the
good
implicits.
implicit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you get a +4 test, 6 link or something.
It's so niche.
Ah,
Yeah.
But fair enough.
yeah.
Okay, fair enough. I mean, if they're rare and you just occasionally hit, like, you just corrupt stuff for no reason, right? Like,
Well, I mean, it's decent for like if you're doing the sacrifice side areas and trying to farm like corrupted 6 things at the start. You find one that has like 3 life or something. Now you can at least like reforge it.
Yeah,
Oh,
you
and
said
Matt-
at the
Can you
start,
reroll
right?
task?
Except what they say is you won't find this, but you could, which implies fucking extremely rare, right?
Yeah.
Can you reroll talismans?
With this, probably, yeah.
Huh.
I mean, I'd assume
Kind of a
so.
little interesting, I guess. Maybe. I don't know. A little bit.
It's a decent idea.
I think it'd
yeah,
be.
if you got one more good, yeah.
I think it'd be more fun if it deleted the item. Either rerolls or rerolls while lucky, or it deletes it. That'd be more fun. It'd be
Yeah.
really good. Just deleting a 6 thing. That'd be nice. I like it. Oh. No, talismans aren't gone. Why do so many people think talismans are gone? They just removed it from one thing,
'Cause-
right?
So what happened was Neversink only showed good talismans, and all talismans are crap now. So now they're hidden by default, basically.
Right.
So everyone thinks talismans removed, because it only highlights the good ones, and there's no good ones.
Right. 'Cause I've seen
Is that
so-
is that what you guys agree with? The whole Chris Wilson thing of like nerfing them, and you're like, oh, that's wrong. They made it less fun and all that. Is that how you feel as well?
I definitely preferred talismans when they rolled lucky. I think even in that league, I found 2 usable talismans, and I ended up only using one because it's so like you are competing with so many other amulets. Like influence amulets are super strong, and then you have like let alone like Maven amulets or Awaken Orb amulets. They're just never gonna compete with that. So it's very strictly like an early game thing, and I think they were really exciting for me because we're already struggling with like drops being exciting in Path of Exile. Talisman started filling that hole a little bit. I remember me and Embu were playing together that league. And when we were doing heist, we were actually excited to find talismans because there were a decent chance of them being usable. Whereas after the change, I don't even look at them anymore. It's alteration shards.
Okay. Well, I'm on the wrong end of the community on this one because on trade, they're still insane. Like, I know you're probably not going to find one manually very often, but I have like used in maybe 3 of my builds recently, just picked up some cheap ass insane talismans off the market. And people routinely will be like looking at my gear and going, what the fuck? Where'd you get that talisman? That thing's insane. And it's like, just fucking search. There's still a lot of really good ones out there and no one's buying them. Whereas before, they were like, it was crazy. Before, when they were rolling lucky, you could actually like pick up anything you wanted for your build really fucking cheap that was basically best in slot because they were everywhere. Like, maybe it would have been nice if they still rolled better for sure, like at least a little bit, but the way they were rolling was insane.
What they could do is just delete Trade League, or just make it so that good talismans only drop on SSF. So that way, because really nobody cares, right? Like who asked about Trade League?
So then at that point, they're tailoring the game more to SSF to make it easier. For you, right?
As Chris Wilson quote
to make it easier.
The correct way to play the game, SSF HC, baby.
But we play it because we want it to be harder.
To be more tailored for you, so they're easier for you, right, Quinn? As opposed to going to SSF as more of a challenge for yourself, you want things to become easier so that you can get
delete
through it.
harvest, right? So Metal, delete harvest, right? Determinants of crafting trash. Delete harvest, buff fucking ground drops. Buff ground drops. Smart loot, talismans. Okay, dude, let me tell you, talisman loot is awesome. Ritual loot is awesome. Heist loot at the end when you go to loot it is awesome. Listen, the smart loot is great. Like, why are they not moving on to the smart loot system already? Like, just reduce all loot that drops by like a factor of 10 and just make all the smart loot drop. Because I love picking up good items, being like, badass, I can make a build around that. Whereas, like, I hate going into fucking harvest and then just creating like mirror tier gear. Like,
I hate that. I hate that.
It's cringe.
So I don't think you framed it very well, but I actually do agree a little bit with like I think PoE and just modern ARPGs in general just drops way too many things. I would love to see like 80-90% reduction in like trash loot and see smart loot being adopted. Like I do actually like the smart loot system and wish they were using it more because it is very fun to find exciting items. And I think that was a very refreshing thing in D2. And obviously you don't have to go that extreme, right? It's an ancient game and it didn't necessarily age well, but it was refreshing. Finding a rare amulet in D2 is exciting, right? I recently played Grim Dawn, and it was just fucking showering me with items, and I was like, "There's so many items, I don't even want to pick them up," and that's not a good feeling.
Can I counter that? Like the D2 thing? Like, yeah, I agree that it's exciting picking up items in D2 because they can be, upgrades or whatever. But it's not because it's a better loot system or because items are better rolled. It's because you're always wearing fucking garbage in those slots because it is really hard to actually get things with good mods.
Yeah.
So, like, so often you just have nothing. Like, my rings and amulets and shit in D2 compared to the rest of my gear, where you could, tailor make your own stuff, were trash, which is why it was exciting to pick that stuff up. Whereas here, if you made the smart loot, you're only picking stuff up because it's going to be really good most of the time, which isn't still really fixing that problem.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a hard problem. I would definitely I would want to see tests or trials to address the fact that making drops more exciting, because that is a very good feeling. Right now, I only pick things up the first start of the league, right? It very quickly becomes to the point where you want to filter out a lot of stuff. And that's not a good feeling.
Think about how much loot metal you equip that you crafted versus how much loot you equip that you just picked up off the ground. Like, what ratio would that be? Like, how much of it is crafted and how much did you just pick up and
I
just
mean, it
use?
depends where we are in the league. Like early on, pretty much all of
I
it's
mean,
fucking
like
picked up, right?
a week or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you still pick up the occasional and get the occasional, but no, I mean, yeah, by all means, you're right, because the game is
Overwhelming majority,
balanced
right?
around. I mean, the game is balanced around
Nerf
the crafting
crafting,
system in the end.
nerf crafting, buff the ground,
But then
baby.
you're
That's
just
all I'm
killing
saying.
the entire actual like integral part of what makes Path of Exile Path of Exile. The
Nah,
harvest argument, that's fine.
getting
Or like,
good loot,
things
getting
like
good loot
that.
is fun, bro.
But
Just looting it off
that's
the
what I'm
ground.
saying. The entire system to begin with is like based around these orbs that you can then use instead of currency, instead of gold or some shit to tailor make your own things.
Mhm.
So that's why just about every league has been a system around that crafting.
I think
Like
that
the
should be
harvest
fulfilling
thing,
in
that went too
holes
far.
in your gear, right? Like, so it should be 50-50. Half the gear you've looted off the ground, half the gear you've like, oh shit, I got really bad pieces here. I'll use some of my crafting orbs to make those pieces. Not this like 98% of my gear. Well, you obviously can't have a fractional piece of gear equipped, but like maybe you've equipped one piece that you've looted from a ritual, which came from the smart loot system, which is good, which we need more of, right? Instead, it should be like half your gear you've looted off the ground.
So
And you
I mean,
just
sure,
put
if
on
it's
your
more of a
character.
balance and it's like a 50-50, fair enough. But I'm saying
Yeah.
you can't just like, completely devalue crafting and say, oh, I don't like crafting this game. It should be all drops or some shit.
Crafting.
Because that's
I
where it's all like, that's the game.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's very important. I like a middle ground. I think drop only mods like incursion and then finishing with crafting or upgrading with crafting. I think that's really cool. That was something I really really liked with harvest being really strong, was finding like drop only mods like incursion. I wish we had more, and then I could like finish that or upgrade that with harvest. So like a combination of being really exciting for certain drops and both having a place.
I actually find it a bit interesting, Quinn. Like you say, like you want more drops and stuff. Is it just purely because you really don't like the crafting system, or like having to make your own items or some shit, or it takes away the
It's
excitement?
exciting
'Cause-
to get like
well,
an
just
item
one
that's
other thing.
insane.
Just because like most people that I find don't like crafting, it's because they come into Path of Exile and like, oh, that's too complicated. There's too much to learn or some shit. You're over that barrier, but you still
It's too
just
bullshit.
would rather.
Like harvest crafting, it's like, dude, I can get a better weapon than like, so I could go and kill fucking Shaper and get a Starforge, right? I don't know. It's probably me. Probably shouldn't use it unique as an example, right? I could kill like a bunch of mobs, and I could kill mobs for like 5 days straight and loot every sword I find, right? Okay. Or I could go ahead and I could just get a carry axe and like 3 jagged fossils, and I'll just get something better immediately just by using some jagged fossils on a carry axe. And it's just bullshit. Like you should not be able to immediately craft something better with like something that you could farm in less than like 20 minutes than something that you've been like literally playing the game for multiple days and you haven't picked up anything that's even close, right? Like, what's that about? It's just there's just such a disparity that I just think is bad. And a great example is like I remember like doing a one of those heist things. I know it's Doc Leave, but I was in a heist and this insane scepter spawned. It was like T1 crit, T1 crit multi, T1 spell damage. It was like the most nutty scepter ever. I put it in my PB. It was like double damage for a build that I hadn't made yet, and it actually made me re-roll a build, a discharge build, which then inadvertently died to bad coding. But that was exciting. So getting an insane like item drop that inspired me. That's like so sick that I'm like, I'm gonna literally make a new build just to use this thing. And like that, Whereas if you have a bunch of crafting mats, you're like, you could go anything. You're like, whatever. I have a bunch of crafting mats. I can pick any build, and I'll just craft whatever the fuck I want, and it'll work, right? Whereas if they have some insane nutty ground drops dropping, it's gonna be inspiring, give you ideas, etc.
I mean, I definitely do
crazy?
agree that we are too reliant on crafting. It's part of the fact that they can just never drop as good as influence items. And sorry, Steel Mage, go on.
I was just gonna say, am I crazy or like, are we discussing like the next league? Because I feel like they're gonna implement the item drop system eventually, right? Just
Copium. Yeah, hopefully.
next league, right?
Copium.
After this one,
Copium.
right?
Dude.
Sure.
Yeah. I mean, I think it would be nice with the balance for sure. But yeah, we don't have all day. We can move on to talking about the new skills. Particularly Tornado looks like the strongest skill gem ever introduced. Any other new ones really like Mathil, you love making builds. Any new ones really stand out to you?
What do you mean by Tornado's strongest thing ever? You just memeing or
Yeah.
you
Oh
fucking...
yeah. Oh, there's
Really?
memes.
So
That
what's
was
your
four
beef
slash
with
S,
that?
right?
It
Just
just
because
like
of
I mean
the slowness?
it
'Cause
just
you're a
looks
fucking
very so. I
zoomer?
mean, it looks more like utility. I'm hoping we'll find some good ways to use it, but it's like the problem for me was when I saw it, it looks like a main skill, right? When they showcased it. And when you look at everything, it really doesn't look like a main skill. It doesn't look like you don't want to make a literal tornado build. That looks kind of rough, at least for me.
I mean, it's hard to judge anything based off of that shit because
Yeah.
you could have said the same thing about Hydrosphere, right? Been like, oh, that looks fucking, main skill. It's like zooming around, blowing shit up, and turns out it's just a basic stat stick in every single build ever to make like your output twice as much as before.
Yeah.
And I don't know. It's really hard to judge. Like I don't know how the tornado is going to play out, but I'm banking on it being somewhat useful in some of these builds as some sort of utility or secondhand damage that you can, in a projectile build, throw it out there for a boss or a particularly tough encounter, and it has a much better like scaling of your damage for those slow moments.
Yeah, I'm
So,
hoping that too, but it felt like it was portrayed as a main skill build. That's all.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's big and it looks cool, and you're like, yeah, I want to build around it. But otherwise, I don't think anything really indicates that it should be main or otherwise. I do like the look of it. It's just, it's too early to tell. It's confusing. So that's the one I mostly want to like force into a build and see if it does anything. Otherwise, I thought the poison flask shit was really cool, but the fact that everyone's like, yeah, that's cool, I'm gonna build it, makes me not want to touch it because it's like, fucking meta trash at that
How
point.
many people are saying that? Is that actually meta ability? Like, it's actually meta
it's,
ability?
it's yeah.
What?
What?
It's been
shit.
pretty, grasped onto on like Reddit and stuff like that. People
Found out.
have made builds and shit, and
Yeah, I need a new build, boys. No, it's the meta cock build now, apparently. Okay, I need a new build now.
Wait.
Dude.
Isn't that your middle
what?
name?
Since when have you
Since
gone away
when?
from meta? Yeah. If anything, lead
well-
the charge for the meta cuck. Still show them how it's done.
Just embrace it. Just be the
be the
Gigasoy
cuck.
meta cook.
Yeah.
Like, dude, if you play any other build except for that build for like the next 3 months, I'm gonna be pissed off. You better only play that one specific.
Yep. That's it. Level 100 flask throwing man incoming.
Oh.
So anyway, the other one, from what I can remember, I mean, the link stuff does nothing for me. It's
Yeah.
kind of cool, and I think it's nice that it doesn't affect me, but I do think it's nice that they're trying to make more of a sort of party duo tandem style play style in PoE a thing, because the current group system's pretty trash if you actually want to play with people. Someone's going to be zooming and they're mostly just doing all the work, whereas this makes you feel like you're more part of a team, and there's good buffs and stuff that happen, so that's cool, but it doesn't do anything for me. And then the energy blade shit, I love the idea of, but it just seems like such a fucking confusing thing to build around that it's like I don't want the headache of trying to make it a thing before I can touch it, basically. So that's where I'm at.
Yeah. So are we not going to see a Quinn Mathil linked gameplay hardcore group found?
What? Set my dog on a leash and see how it goes.
An actual leash, dude.
Dude, I ain't got time to carry you, bro.
I figured we'll wait
group
for
gameplay.
PoE 2 when he can actually turn into a dog.
Oh my god, you can literally take your...
I was a druid main in World of Warcraft for a long time, okay? So I will be vibing out to the druid champ whenever that does come.
Nice.
Like,
you
if
couldn't never turn into a dog in WoW, could you, right? Cat and fucking bear, and now you can actually be a dog, and tame yourself, and then I'll tame you, and
Jesus
there'll
Christ.
be a lot of dog
Man, I'm a
taming.
solo self-found ethical gamer, Mathel, and Path of Exile. I ain't got time. Like, I ain't got time for
Yeah,
grouping.
that's fair.
Oh, it's funny. All right. Steel, new skills. What really stood out to you? What are you excited for?
Also, let's just get one thing out of the way. With the whole tree changes and everything, I was like super, confused. I was like, I have no idea what I was doing for a while. So I was just kind of getting carried by other people. So I was like taking peeks at everyone else's builds, doing a little bit of yoinking, just a little bit. Kind of settling on. So I know I like zooming. I know I'm probably playing SC. So I figured Glad or Occultist for that. And so new skills. I mean, there's nothing on the Glad side really, but obviously Poisonous Concoction is we were just talking about that. Is maybe a replacement for Bladeful Blade Blast in that build. So you still got the good clear on the Plague Bearer, which got buffed via masteries. Then you've got the Poisonous Concoction again, doing the sort of the single target. So I think that will be good. And if it sucks, I mean, my recommendation to anyone watching, if you are playing a new skill, like let's say you are doing this tornado meme or whatever you're gonna do, have a backup skill that actually works. Because if this sucks and this is terrible, I'm just gonna go Blade for Blade Blast, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's like a worst case scenario. That's like if the build's just completely, it just doesn't. The skill sucks, right? But then
I
at
was
least
just
I
going
can
to quit
salvage.
the game and start playing D2 again if my skill sucks. Should I have a
Yeah,
backup
I
plan?
mean,
Holy, thanks,
yeah.
Stu. I needed that.
Yeah, I mean, shit. I got like my Infinity. I just need Enigma now, right? I mean, easy. But yeah, anyway, that's kind of where my head was at.
What do you think about the E-Blade thing?
Right, so it's just a buff, right? Effectively, so it's like I don't think it's that scary, but you do have to obviously think about how you're gonna get a bunch of energy shield, and then that obviously gonna delete all that energy shield because it's got that ES penalty on it.
Yeah.
So building defenses seems kind of weird on that build. I don't know. It's a bit weird. You're investing a lot of points to get energy shield, and then you're deleting it. I mean, you'll still have 20% of it, but yeah,
There's a lot more softcore friendly, and it looks like kind of good for an Inquisitor, and with Battle Mage and stuff. So it'll probably be affected by that.
I mean, that looks cool though. I mean, obviously you can do that with like Helix, Lightning Strike, whatever. So
yeah, I think
I'll let other people figure that out.
I think that's nice. This like leeching builds. There's so many changes. Quinn, what about you? Builds, especially the new one.
Well, so in terms of new skills and stuff, right? I don't know. My thing is that whenever they release, well, they have pretty much always released a new melee skill. I just play whatever the coolest looking melee skill is, and they didn't really do that.
Mm-hmm.
They did the energy shield one, but then energy shield's for pussies. So
why is it for
I don't
pussies?
know.
But to be fair though, you're
pussies intellect.
No, but you're
Why?
not surviving with energy shield. Like you're eating your energy shield. It's even more manly. You're like, you know what? I don't want this protecting me. And then now
It's an int build though. It's an int build.
You don't have to
I
have
don't
an
like
int
that.
build.
I don't like int. I don't like the the theme or the thematics of like the ints in general. Like just that whole top part of the tree. Just not a big fan of it. And then all the link ones, obviously, like that's cool that they deleted Ourobots or whatever, and they're giving them these link things. But it's like I just really don't care at all. Like it's like they're like, oh, we announced another link skill. What I don't care. But it's it's cool for the group guys. But no, I can't say that. I mean, the poison one, the poison concoction. I was thinking about it, and then every time I think about it, I think about Plague Bearer, and I remember how much I hate Plague Bearer. So then it makes me not want to do it. And then I think, well, how am I gonna get Fortify? And it's like, yeah, you know what? I don't know if I even want to do the poison thing. So I don't know. None of the new skills. This is the first time I've ever not really been excited for like a new skill in a league.
They already made
it's
the Queen skill last league, right? That was Bone Shatter.
Well, yeah.
So
Yeah, that shit was so sick. Yeah, that was sick.
I mean,
as fuck.
if you want to revisit it, armor is like twice as effective, so you're not going to take nearly as much self harm.
Bro, like you have no idea. Like Bone Shatter, and then this, the new Divine Shield node.
Mm-hmm.
You seen that? You seen the interaction there? And then also recoup stacking with a recoup life. You can get like 50% recoup life. So you recoup 50% of the damage you do. You can like go level 25 Bone Shatter with super high stacks, and you could actually recoup the fuck out of that.
I don't know what you're talking about, but it sounds like a build. Yeah.
It's on the
Well,
top
it's a
side of the
build.
tree, so it's not doable for you.
But you can just go there, right? Like you can just go get the recoup, man. It's not too
It's okay to pick up some int
but
nodes.
you will get a few int nodes. You know, so you need enough int to equip the gear. So you know, I don't really know what else you use int for, but you need it for the gear. But I don't know. I did so much bone shader last league that I don't get me wrong. Instinctually, I must admit, with the armor changes and seeing divine shield and stuff, I kind of do want to go bone shader, but I'm trying to
What
force
if
myself
they,
to
you
not do
know,
it.
they do put out whatever that flame surge thing is, and then you go ahead and make the thickest ignite bone shatter build possible? Hmm?
Do not get me wrong. We've already been looking at that. It looks okay, but it depends on how much they. Well, we need to find out. Like GGG, what are you doing? Like when are they going to tell us? The league's coming out in like a day and a half, right? And we still don't know if they're doing the attack based ignite stacking. Because I will 100% do that. If they do that, if they put in that mechanic where I can ramp with bone shatter with an ignite, oh my god.
I'm not gonna lie, I reckon they just forgot that it was even attached as part of like passive tree or something. Someone did the flame surge thing, and then they went, "Oh yeah, and we might do one for like melee," and it's like, "Oh yeah, chuck that in there," and then no one like did anything. Like that's my guess.
It's been mentioned twice though, because it was in the damage over time changes, and then they did a modified solution problem thing in the patch notes, and it was updated, and they had
Yeah,
reworded
they
it.
just copy
So
pasted the fucking flame surge like note.
but
And
it's
just chucked it
reworded.
in.
They have more. They defined because they don't explain what they were doing with Flame Surge. They said like, oh yeah, we're gonna make it so like there's some sort of ramping thing. And in the patch notes, they said, oh, like it's gonna like every 2 seconds, it's gonna put a dot on the ground and it's gonna do a percentage of your ignite damage. And they still haven't really defined how much percent it's gonna be. Does it stack? We don't know any of that shit. But and then so they reworded it, which means they're working on it. Something's happening. So I believe.
That's some copium, man.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if what Mel said was true that they forgot about it. Because, like, didn't Chris say on one of the podcasts, or on the Q&A that there wasn't going to be a corrupted Exalted Orb? So there is some things, like, happening last minute changes, right?
Thanks, crossed.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe we'll get to see an igniting Quinn. I'm pretty excited. I love when they add new skills. Even if they're initially trash, because hopefully they'll eventually be good, like crack clans. Oh no, never mind. But like the lightsaber thing, energy blade,
Not bad.
it looks so. I mean, it's okay. It's just it doesn't really have its own identity, I feel. But the lightsabers looks like it'll be busted with headhunter, because it consumes your energy shield. So once you go up to 100k energy shield, like I feel like it looks like the ultimate Legion build, like you know, the Uber Legion build. Unless they like, I think it would be hilarious if in Uber Legion every monster was unique and Headhunter doesn't work. That would be hilarious. But if Headhunter does work in there, like yeah, the E blades, like you get 100k ES, and then suddenly you're just, you know, way more damage than a normal Headhunter build would be. Way more damage. Like that would be insane.
Did it ever have a problem with damage a headhunter build?
Is it
Doesn't it
really-
just fucking
It
obliterate
might
everything
in Uber
already? So
Legions. It might.
Sounds unnecessary. Like
Fucking
Headhunter's
so
already
what,
absolutely
man?
disgusting.
That's what PoE's all
Yeah.
about. Unnecessary shit. That's what it's all about. So it looks really cool with that, and I think that's the one I'm the most excited for, is the E-Blade, because I think it just has really cool interactions with, like, you know, doing like a cast on crit Inquisitor with the shield. So then you could like, I mean, yeah. I guess you can't really use the shield that much with it, the 6-link shield, but that's very exciting too. That's the one I'm the most excited for. Like Cock with the E-Blade on an Inquisitor and getting a beefy amount of ES. I think it'll be more exciting for softcore, because then you could maybe do like a pretty low HP build and just one-shot everything.
You don't build, you're
I'm
playing
definitely
good.
turning that into a soundbite, by the way. That's the one I'm most excited for. Like cock, and then I'm cutting it there.
That's fair. You can do that. So yeah, we can move on to like starters and builds we're doing and want to play this league next. So for my starters, I really want to try my hand at the aspirational content this league on hardcore. Even if I die, like I want to make sure I have like a really strong build. Like the past few leagues, I've really been enjoying just doing new gems and stuff, and not necessarily caring if it's the strongest and having backups. But for this league, I am considering doing Toxic Rain Champion but I also really like the idea of the poison saboteur. It looks so fun to like just one shot the Maven imitations and stuff like that. Uber Ziri. Not that there's really much of a reason to farm Uber Ziri anymore, but one of those, to be able to just do the end game content, because I think that will be what I'll enjoy the most. Like, I don't think I'm gonna care that much about the build I'm playing. I just want to be really strong, and then I really want to try to do like wave 30 Simulacrum, or I don't know, getting past 20 is hard, to be honest. I really want to do that, though. That's definitely what I'm leaning towards the most.
So, I don't know, you're not afraid of, like, having your achievements invalidated by just it being the most meta, like, easy face roll build?
I think you need to. Like, the
Bro.
fact that Steel Mage, who's literally one of the best gamers, is considering going softcore to be able to do the content, that kind of says a little bit about how hard it's going to be, right? Like, wave 30 Simulacrum might be undoable on hardcore. The Legion 5 waves might be undoable. So I think you really want to really pull out all the stops and do the strongest you can. This isn't something where you can do like some sort of weird meme build necessarily. You got to remember, we're also not gonna have seen the content before. Everything gets easier the more you've done it. For the first time now, I think it'll be pretty hard.
Makes sense. But I think Steel Mage just knows where the money's at these days. In the Twitch PoE community, it's fucking softcore gaming. And he's just trying to get his beak wet, you know?
You're gonna be out of content. You're gonna be out of content in like 5 days, bro. Like you're gonna be done. You're gonna have everything that you would have done.
I usually finish like all Awakeners and Mavens and Feared and Simulacrum Wave 20 within 5 days. So ramping that to like a double, maybe 6 days. Yeah, it'll be done. Fucking, I'll be bored. It's literally going to take me like fucking 45 days to get to, one of these like big end game things. And no offense, Quinn, are never seeing a wave fucking 30 or something.
Like Steel Mage is going to do it in 5 days. Okay, let's be real. If he's getting awakened, it's going to be 5 days. 5 days. And then what are you going to do? And then what?
Play Bloons.
That's actually a pretty fucking good idea. That's actually sad.
Yeah.
There's going to be a new Lich next week, so...
Yeah.
Shit.
Gonna take a break, aren't you? Like mid PoE stream and just start fucking ballooning.
Yeah. As you don't know, I'm a back-to-back balloon champion now, and there's gonna be a Bloonarius coming out mid PoE at League launch and stuff. So I'm just wondering, like, fuck, like, do I stop playing PoE to do Bloonarius? Because I don't want to list, because you permanently lose the Bloonarius badge.
So I think Steel might be about to unlock a whole new tier of content on Twitch, because once he's got softcore and farm, he can try to multitask playing PoE while playing balloons. Just 2 mice, get like a good macro mice. He can do both at the same time. No one's ever seen that. No one's ever done that. Literally just sitting there with both at the same time. Peak content, twice the viewers. Infinite.
Yeah, so I can type Doc Leave in his chat twice in a row.
Yeah.
Shit. I mean, I don't think I'll bend through everything in 5 days. Look, my take is if I do everything in 5 days, I made a mistake. I mean, Quinn was right. So you can clip that. Right?
Clip that.
I don't think it'll take.
I've been right. I'm telling you, I'm right.
Hardcore right away, wouldn't you? So it's whatever.
How many times have I been right this podcast? Ask yourself that question. Okay.
You don't want to ask that.
I mean, okay. It's a risky game you're playing, Steel. Like, I mean, even Ziz, dude. If Ziz is going hardcore, bro, and he's talking about doing in-game content. Okay, and think about how much Ziz dies, right? And you, like, I mean, just think about that, bro.
I did. No, I actually asked Ziz.
Do the math.
He's like, yeah, I'm playing. No, I asked Ziz, and Ziz is like, yeah, I'm gonna do SS hardcore. Hell yeah, Giga Chat. Hell yeah. I was like, how much are you planning on dying? Because I don't like dying. And he's like, 20 times.
I said 12.
So, something like that. It was a big number.
Specific number.
No, I mean,
big, yeah.
Currently the most deaths I've had in a league is 13 deaths in 1,200 hours. I think.
1,200 hours for a league.
Yeah. That was Reach or Metamorph? I can't remember. I play a lot less than that now. But like last league I did 500, 580 or something according to Solinome, and it was 5 deaths. And 3 of those were caused by you. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Well, no, you caused them.
Actually,
just like
Steel Mage kind of started it all, and then you pushed it home.
Well, I'm saying the
I
fault
didn't
of the
I
deaths
didn't
was
die.
still on you because you didn't adjust your
Yeah.
playstyle at
Yeah,
all to
no,
the new parameters.
that's true. That's true.
But it is
You just don't
this
die.
kind of just shows how much of a vagina play it is for Steel to go softcore, right? The fact that Ziz, the man who fucking died all these times last league, and he was having a rough go of it, still committing to hardcore. Whereas Steel Mage, the guy who hasn't died in like 6 months or some shit, just conquers all content, gives no fucks, goes, I think it just would have been easier. Like, what the fuck?
I don't like
I
I don't
agree.
like the bullying, dude. Like I just honestly like let the man have a vacation. Let the man have a vacation.
Fuck his vacation. I want him to suffer at a maximum amount. I'm just another Twitch viewer, and I want my streamers to suffer, to their absolute peak, because
We'll
that's
suffer in
entertainment.
hard mode. It's fine, and I'm sure there'll probably be another event. I'll die. It's fine.
Hard mode.
Quinn and Ziz will die for the both of us.
I
it's
will.
Think
fine.
about when a rip clip's the most juicy.
League start.
Nobody cares if it's some random event or something. Like the rip clips are the most juicy in the first like days of the league start. Okay, and that's all. I like wake up and I'm like, fuck, I want to be ripped today. Like, why haven't I got any content? And like, it's like, what? There's gonna be absolutely zero content coming from Steel Mage's stream if he goes softcore.
No.
Okay.
That there will be.
Zero.
It'll be loads of clips like Zizaran somehow links 3 6 links in one fusing and shit like that.
And then dies.
But softcore.
Yeah. That's a fair point, though. That's smart advertising for your stream is to play hardcore and have some rip clips pop up, because your clips just
Wait.
probably won't make it to the fucking Reddit anymore, mate.
I was supposed to be dying for rip clip content? Like,
Yeah.
what?
Yeah, winning
wow.
just gets like so much less traction. It's like,
So you don't know about
fucking meta cuck build, who cares? Fucking downvote.
I've been doing it wrong.
He doesn't know about the Twitch meta of intentionally dying, okay, for clips, dude. Shit.
Like on
this
your
is an idea.
hunter.
No one would
the
do
essence
that,
trade.
right?
The essence trade.
Yeah.
Do you know the only time I literally considered intentionally dying was my Champions Valspark when I was thinking about suiciding the character, because I had never had 100 and it was such a big part of my brand, the whole like never 100. So I was like thinking like, do I have to kill myself? But I didn't. But I was honestly
Jesus
considering
Christ.
it.
You were on your way to hitting max level, and you're like, oh, but
But the brand.
then I'll be max level. So
But the
fuck that.
brand.
Like,
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
What is going
Sounds
on?
like a
up there?
Quinn take.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I end up dying enough like without trying, so I don't need to intentionally do it. Mathel, what are you starting?
Me.
What starters?
I started like with Spectral Helix last league when we did this whole HC thing. So it was a very like sort of neutered version of Spectral Helix. It was still more or less bringing some softcore to it, but I couldn't really go all out, and I don't think I really touched Spectral Helix since then. And I kind of like a lot of the new stuff that's like that the masteries and stuff have done for it. So I want to try it again. I think I want to do Spectral Helix Raider, and that's kind of why I'm also hoping the Tornado does things, because
Right.
Have a projectile sort of build and then drop some tornadoes and then stack during the tornadoes, and maybe it fucking amps up your single target or something. I don't know. So I want to test that out, and if the tornado doesn't do anything, it's still got Spectral Helix as a build. So that's kind of what I'm leaning towards. I've made a sort of tree for it and think that looks cool, but I've still got plenty of build planning I'm supposed to do for many other things, and maybe it changes because I do have a lot I want to do.
Yeah.
But Helix just sounds like a good, pretty safe bet for a lot of fun.
Was there anything else that you were like really close to picking that you think is a good starter to recommend to people?
I mean, the Poison Concoction, like initially I was going, oh yeah, that's just going to be a nice safe bet on a win. It looks like it's going to be pretty strong with Pathfinder Prolif. It should just clear nice and feel good. And if it sucks, you've got a nice fallback of like Cobrelash or, Toxic Rain, Scourge Arrow, some shit like that. So you can easily like have a fallback plan. As far as starter shit, The Chieftain Cyclone is still probably good, but I just have to figure out how to like make it really shine because it still looks playable at the moment, but it's not. Doesn't look particularly special or anything. And then another one I was going to look into is Stormburst totems. So a bit of a different totem world, but Stormburst is still pretty good, I think, and it's not very well played, so it's a bit of a hipster totem build idea. At least these days hipster, and maybe have a look at it.
Totem should be pretty fun too with the reduced damage taken thing.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how much that really changes most totem playstyles or anything.
What?
But
What?
The fact that they by default take less damage taken now, like I felt like early game it was pretty easy and annoying for my totems to die quite a lot.
Yeah. But I mean, they had their life cut, so it should still kind of balance out, right? I mean, there was good totem viability and masteries and shit. Just in general, it feels like a lot more things are possible because you don't have to travel as much, and because masteries fill the niche of like cluster jewels in a lot of these early builds. So it should be pretty, open season. So you don't have to do Toxic Rain Champion. Yes, that one thing looks really good that people have pointed out, but you don't have to do it. Like, I think a lot of things would be pretty good.
What is that? What is the Toxic Rain Champion thing? Is this like spell suppress champion with Firma Fort? Like, what is this?
Yeah, Darky basically made like a really, really strong. It looks like a just insanely rounded tanky build. Just shouldn't really die too much.
Can you explain the mechanics, like the defensive layers and the and how much damage it does and everything?
I haven't looked at it yet. I think it was just really high.
I can do that.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, if I was gonna do hardcore, that's what I would be doing, right? I'd be like Mathil said, full meta cuck. So basically, you know how Champions got that aura node that gives you like aura effect?
Yeah.
Now aura's got buffed for non-aura cucks. Yeah. So aura's got buffed for non-aura cucks because the reservation calculations, they were very generous. I mean, most builds that run any amount of aura reservation actually give you like almost an extra aura, depending on how much you invest into it, especially with the mastery. And so because of that, Grace, Determination, that node, aura effect, boom, you've got insane amounts of armor, insane amounts of evasion, and so that's your attack hits are mitigated, physical damage is mitigated, and then you get spell suppression because you are around the right side of the tree. You do kind of because you're taking bow nodes and dot multi nodes and all that kind of stuff. And so you end up with getting spell suppression on top of that, which is quite doable thanks to things like Mage Bane and the nodes on the tree. Much more accessible, because that's the thing, you couldn't combine acrobatics and armor before, right? That was kind of cooked. But because spell suppression doesn't do anything to your armor, you can stack it, which is like, yeah, it's insane. And then slapping on Defiance Banner too, because you get the free banner, right? And that new Defiance Banner, I don't know if you remember, it was introduced last league, so I'm not sure if you're familiar.
Yeah.
But
I remember
that gives you
like you put
it's
it on
like
the ground,
armor
it's
innovation.
Yeah, they do less damage and shit, right?
That too, yeah. So you scale. You got the armor innovation from that. You got the armor innovation from Grace. You got the armor innovation from the aura nodes. You got the spell suppression, and you get fortify just on top. You probably don't even need it. And then the taunt stuff as well. So you just got so much damage mitigation, and then toxic rain just does damage because it's toxic rain, right?
Yep.
Basically, you can just build like full defense, which is what they're doing. There's so much fucking defense you can get, and then toxic rain. Especially, like, I did tune into Darky's stream a couple times during the gauntlet, and I was just like, holy fuck, this looks dumb. Because I haven't really looked at Toxic Rain in a while, but Toxic Rain with the focus ballista shit, just... What the fuck? Like, how's that a thing? Like, you can just, drop your fucking totems, your little ballistas, and then start launching up. You got, like, fucking 7,000 pods popping off wherever you want them. So I think that's largely why it's a lot stronger right now.
How much TPS is it?
Like 1 trillion?
Like a roundabouts. Like what? Like while
I would
be tanky.
You should stop asking questions about this, Quinn. You'll feel bad about your other
4 to
builds
6 million.
with the numbers on this thing.
Top end, you're looking at about 6 to 8. That's hardcore. That's hardcore like SSF. Trade League softcore, you're probably looking at like 13 or more. Probably even more. I mean, yeah, it's insane. That is on a stationary target going, full blast but you're tanky. You just stand still and you're not gonna die. I mean, it's the tankiest build I've ever seen.
So what you're
We're gonna
saying is I
see a
need to
toxic
go.
rain starter.
So I'm gonna go champion, and then I'm just gonna put on a wild strike.
So I'm gonna do
Here's the
that, but
problem.
worse.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now here's the problem. That doesn't scale your damage much. So you can do that, but damage. The Toxic Rain is picked specifically because it has damage implicitly. So that's the tricky
Yeah,
part.
so it's
You
like
need
it's a
you need
bullshit
a
ability
very
that you
nice
just
skill.
requires no damage nodes on the tree to deal damage. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's like
fine.
it's like
Well,
old school slams where they're just like they're just fucking
Yes.
just spam war cries
Yeah.
and they have literally no damage nodes on the tree and they still do
Well,
fucking stupid damage.
Well, they had the Warcry nodes, but yeah, same sort of principle. You have minimal
Bro,
damage
they
investment,
had like the
maximum
utility
defense.
ones. I remember going through Alcaze's tree and looking at it, and it was like literally not a single damage wheel he'd been taken. It was just fucking disgusting. Not
I've seen a
even
lot of your
ethical
trees
melee.
that look the same. But, you know,
No,
you've got
multiple
like a
damage
fucking
wheels,
mace
Basil.
node or something.
Multiple wheels.
Yeah, endurance charges that like count towards your endurance fucking damage on jug or something doesn't count. All right. So,
Count.
So for me, I'm for build guides this league and stuff. I'm honestly kind of doing what Steel's doing. I was like, this is a lot. This is a lot. So I'm collabing with people. I'm having a lot of other people make guides for me.
that's cheating, Ziz.
It's
Pull his
Gigabrain.
YouTube videos down.
It's
That's
Gigabrain.
cheating.
So we have like 8 or 9 collabs going out from good build creators, and then I'm making like an additional 3 or something. But yeah, it's gonna be great. I'm really excited. The good thing is the community gets loads of solid step-by-step build guides. For me myself, I am trying to think whether I do the toxic rain build or the poison. What's the trap thing mine called? What's the
Seismic
poison?
and Exile.
Seismic, that's it. Poison seismic. And the reason I'm thinking about the poison seismic is I really like that playstyle early on, of just especially for the Maven 10 ways and for things like the hidden and stuff, because the hidden is going to be so easy on that build. You're literally just nuking them down instantly. You don't even have to worry about them killing you. And I really do like that when we have the ability to do that. So it's a very hard choice between those two builds. So I was thinking maybe league starting as Sabo and then building my champion and trying to find gear for the champion TR and using that for the aspirational content. But it's a pretty hard choice between those two. I definitely want to make sure I have something like ridiculously strong though, because I want to try being one of the first people to do it.
So it's a coin toss between rolling your face across your keyboard to the left or to the right.
Yeah.
And who fucking knows, right? I mean, it could
Yeah.
go either way.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, you kind of
Okay,
have to. Like, I do want to be one of the first people to do it, and I'm not gonna like take like a weird niche build into that. It's like, oh, no one else is playing this. That's not gonna help me.
But you should.
I'm just saying now.
No.
You should do the Toxic Rain. I mean, I'm just saying. I mean,
Yeah.
that's a no-brainer. Like, Tab is no,
Why?
not that good.
Why
It's
not?
very
Sam?
good.
Because the early game defense fizz mitigation on a Sab, especially with blind being nuked, is like terrible. Like, is it? I mean,
I
think
mean,
you-
the Saboteur one's still good. It got an extra 5% fucking damage reduction there. It's good.
that's
It's
good,
pretty good.
but I think you're gonna die to fizz damage, dude.
But
Yeah,
like,
Zai knows. I don't.
it has to
respect
hit
Sab,
you though.
okay?
It has to hit you.
You're gonna get hit.
By what?
I'll fight on behalf of Saboteur here and the other side with Ziz and say, I played a Saboteur this league for the first time in a long time, and it was like just blade traps. You know, DPS was decent. I got away with like 4k life and, you know, barely any defenses, and I was fucking never dying to like anything and getting hit by nothing. It seemed just so good defensively, having those nodes and like the play style.
And now you have spell
I don't know.
suppression on top of that.
Bro,
Yeah,
you
you can
should play
actually
Sab,
do
Ziz. Mathel
Yeah.
needs his rip content. Yeah,
Yeah,
I see what's
come
going
on,
on
Ziz.
here.
We'll see. It's a hard choice. But yeah, there's a lot of exciting builds this league. Quinn, what about you? Have you decided your starter?
Well, I was looking at some starters. Normally, I have a skill that I'm like, oh, that's a skill that I want to go. This
Mhm.
is this new skill. I want to play that, and I don't have that now. So now I've been kind of making up trees, like, and being like, without a skill, and being like, well, what the hell am I doing? Just defensive trees. And currently, I'm somewhere between a spell suppression gladiator or a spell suppression raider. That's where I'm at.
Mhm.
I was thinking, what do you guys think about? Okay, hear me out. Wild Strike, Raider. It's 100% spell suppress with like 40% block.
Sounds tanky.
I mean,
Mathel
yeah,
can
but
maybe
I mean,
help you there. I mean, shit.
So
Where,
for
where are you
killing,
getting your damage?
yeah, for killing the monsters, are you just gonna wait until they're like fuck this and they log out, or like where is the damage on
I'm
this
gonna.
build?
They're gonna have a 6-link Wild Strike, bro. You're gonna have it's gonna be popping off, just Wild
Where-
Striking away, bro.
So you're banking on getting the shield that has extra links, so you can have like a 12-link weapon to make this work.
Well, I mean, if I had
Right.
that, I mean, fuck, dude. I mean, I'm not banking on that. Well, the thing is, I haven't actually plugged in. I don't actually know what the damage is like. I just didn't even plug in 6-link yet. I was about to.
Don't
and then we had the
bother. Just
podcast.
trust it. Just trust it and go in.
Believe.
There'll be damage. It'll sort itself out.
I mean, we're talking. What are we talking here, mate? We're talking 443 crit multi with 50% crit chance. Like that's got to do damage, right? That's got to do damage. Surely.
Guaranteed. Can't lose.
Mathel just wants to see things happen. He's like, yeah, dude, you go and Coco, fuck shit up.
Mate, I'm here for max entertainment. I'm fucking Twitch chat. Like, fuck everyone's enjoyment. As long as someone's suffering and I get to reap the rewards, let's go.
That's fair.
I mean, it can't be bad though, right? Like, I mean, dude, if
Oh,
all
it can
spell
be
damage
bad.
is reduced, bro, all spell damage reduced by 50%. Okay.
How
Hear
are
me?
you
Okay.
this high on copium all the fucking time? Like when it comes to
High
melee
evasion.
stuff.
I'm evading attacks. Evading attacks.
No,
And
we're
then
not
not only
worried.
that,
We're not worried about the tank.
block.
We're not worried
Hold
about the tank. It's not the tank we're worried about.
Well, what? Are we gonna design an ability that doesn't do damage? Like, they're not gonna do that. Okay,
No,
bro.
of
They're not
course
gonna
not.
like. What? They're
No,
gonna
that's
put like
not Path of
a
Exile.
ability that's. Okay. No, of course it's. I mean, it has to work, right? And then I don't know. I don't know. I haven't really. I need to spend more time thinking about it and thinking about like what I want to do. Because honestly, I'm not like massively passionate about any skill right now, and I'm looking. Normally, I have a passion, because I see like whatever Bone Shatter, or one of the new steel skills was added into the game, or there's something where I'm like, oh, yo, I want to do that. But now I need to figure out like what do I want to min-max. I kind of was getting pretty hard for Glacial Hammer because of the new changes they made to. Have you not seen the freeze wheels? You can get like 50% freeze duration just on the tree. Is that nuts? Does that make? I mean,
I don't think that's really much of a selling point for Glacier Hammer because it like already freezes pretty fucking well, and like to the point where you shouldn't need to like scale harder into it. I don't think. Like I don't know if you've played it recently or
I'm
seen
thinking
it recently.
perma-freezing, just perma-freeze everything except bosses, right? Just the
Yeah,
entire
but
game
that's
doesn't
where
get to
it
play.
counts, and they're not getting permafroze.
Yeah, I mean, but yeah, but then you need the jewel for it to work, and then I'm gonna be playing SSF, so I can't guarantee the jewel's gonna drop. Then it's like I don't know, dude. I'm kind of lost. Like, if you guys see any hipster build, like, not hipster builds, have you guys seen any hipster interactions that I could build around?
Tornado.
Anything you would be like?
Yeah, tornado. So the deal with tornado is the way people are thinking it works. You're just hitting, right? You're just doing whatever. Let's say you're doing Spectral Helix like Matthew was saying, but you can do this with other builds. We really need a list of skills that this will work with. But you do your Spectral Helixes and you hit the tornado multiple times. Hopefully. And then the tornado will deal, I think it's like 200% of that damage. Do you know the math, Mathel?
It scales up to 200%. It's like 10% per stack onto it, and it goes up to 20. So yeah, 200% of the damage then gets reflected
So
through.
you have to do 20 hits for that. Excellent.
Yeah. So you just have to hit really,
Yeah,
really
which
fast.
with some fast shit like let's say a Spectral Helix that can go through it maybe several times, or let's say a Spectral Throw that goes through it and back several times. You got to pick the right skills that scale with it. Maybe like a Spark or some shit that goes through and like bounces around and shit. it might have some viability. That's me sucking down my fucking hopium as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, so basically, that's your single target. So you just need to pick a projectile-based skill that can hit the tornado 20 times within 1 to 2 seconds. So if you can figure out
You lost Quinn
something
at
there...
projectile though.
I mean,
Mate,
Buzz strike has projectiles, so I mean,
Yeah.
But you wouldn't do that. That doesn't work. But you know,
Ellie hit barrage support.
yeah. I mean, that could. I mean, yeah.
But
But
he
yeah,
wants
he-
to melee with
does-
his Ellie hit.
Does duration increase the overall damage dealt by the cyclone? Well, the tornado?
I think so.
I don't know.
Would it be a straight multiplier to the overall output, like per
I think it's-
tornado? I mean, you know,
People
I
are
mean,
telling me it's like
if you're not
has to
hitting
be, right?
cap, if
It's
you're
not
not
gonna
hitting
reduce the
cap
damage,
in
right?
stacks or something.
But anyway, there's your hipsterness. I think you play around with tornado. Problem is if that sucks and you're relying on the tornado, your build's kind of rigged. But I mean, it sounds like you're willing to experiment here. So
How like
Yeah.
mentally committed are you to the start anyway? Because you know, shouldn't you be like potentially bailing
Yeah.
at any second?
Yeah, well, that's something that's jaded me about League's launch. I'll be honest, it's pretty hard. It's that's adding to it. Yeah, obviously, you know, my you know, girlfriend/wife, is heavily pregnant, and she's due to pop like tomorrow or the next day or the day after.
Here,
So this is
let's
good
get
chance
a let's get a clap in chat for Quinn on reproducing. Is that number 2 or number 3?
number 3.
Yeah.
It's can't be evaded.
Yeah, it literally can't be evaded. Enchanted on my cock.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, that's awesome,
Keeping it
dude. I'm happy
PG.
for you. That's so cool. I got a little luckier with the timing. It's 4 weeks
Yeah, your
away.
timing's way better, dude.
4 weeks away. We planned it. We like.
No, don't pretend it's luck. You planned this
Oh,
shit
yeah.
out, dude.
No.
You were like going, okay, we have this window to you
Yeah.
know, fucking.
Oh. Wait. Is that?
Sure.
Perfect.
Oh, is that me?
You froze for a bit.
You were lagging.
Oh, me. Oh no. Okay. Well, hopefully that doesn't keep happening. Yeah. No, we had a spreadsheet and stuff. We had a spreadsheet. We're calculating everything.
It's good. It's good memes. This. Okay.
Meme? Oh,
But
right.
no, yeah, it's made me like a little bit. It's certainly like obviously knowing that like a few days, like probably. I mean, best case scenario, I'll be getting like a week of the league, which to be honest, I could probably kill Awaken 8, kill Maven in that time. Probably.
True.
Wait,
Yeah,
but
everything goes
Or
well,
you could
so-
play softcore and do all the content and then dip. Eh?
I mean potentially, but it's just boring as fuck, right?
wait. So
I don't know,
when
it's
is the
one of
due
those
date?
things.
Wasn't it 22nd or 27th?
It's literally like what depends on how you measure it. There's like all these
Right.
like pregnancy, like if you base it on like the scans versus the ovulation test things. Like one of them is saying like literally league launch,
Right.
the day of the league launch.
Well,
And the
if
other
it,
one's
if,
saying like 4 days after league launch.
if it's 27th, that's literally the same birthday as both me and Mathel. So
Yeah, it's already a bit crowded, so you know.
Oh, that'd be pog.
that'd be hilarious. Yeah.
That'd be badass, actually. If we get it pops out on the 27th, actually. You know, that's to like, you know. Actually, you know what? That's actually kind of cool. That ultimately, it's like, bro, you know, a PoE league is a PoE league, and it's badass. But like, you know, at least, I mean, you know, it's like, you know, my firstborn male, you know, my ear, you know, that's pretty large.
When,
Like the
how
literal
much
god.
time off are you taking?
I mean, Coke didn't even take time off. So you know, I'm going to go off Coke build, and we're gonna see what happens.
Right.
You know, like maybe you know, maybe it depends if it's C-section versus non-C-section.
Yeah.
Non-C-section, I mean, you can have the baby pop out and be back home, and you know, in a day. So, but or if it's C-section, probably not longer.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
but
Let's
think of how much time you get in the waiting room, like to kill Lunaris on your mobile phone while you know, just waiting around. That's
I was thinking,
that kills
dude,
two birds with one stone, man.
I'm not even kidding. I'm gonna take the laptop. I'm gonna take the laptop to the hospital.
Oh,
if
no.
if it's like league launch, I'm gonna farm an Onigoroshi. Like that's my backup plan. If league launch
Oh.
happens, and then yeah, I'm gonna farm an Onigoroshi from the hospital on my laptop.
The tech.
So I was
Yeah.
planning on taking a week off at least, and then playing it by
Nope.
ear.
I mean, I don't know if you want to like yoink a bird,
Mm-mm.
Quinn, but I'm just saying, Jiang. I don't know if you know Jiang. He's literally doing Onigoroshi Spectral Helix Tornado, like literally
What, on League launch
That
on
is-
Solo Self and
on
Hardcore?
League launch. He's doing it on softcore
That's-
trade, but I mean, you
Ah.
could make it hard. No, you could make it hardcore SSF. The reason,
Yeah.
you could do it.
Well, he's doing it on Trade League because then he doesn't have to farm Hillock, right? He'll just buy it off some cuck.
Correct.
Like,
Mm.
Yeah, I'm saying if
so-
you're in the, if you're in
whereas
the
I'm going to be the
hospital,
cuck. Yeah,
you
we'll
know.
see. I don't know. Potential. I mean, I definitely. If I'm in the hospital, I'm farming Onigoroshi. You know, like that's happening. So yeah,
Yeah.
potential's there.
But for your first two kids, did you take time off streaming for that?
Yeah, for
Right.
the first one, I did like way longer, whatever it was, and then Sky was like far shorter because Classic WoW came out, and it was like everything was kind of on lock. Okay,
Yeah.
like we got it. And the third one, it's like okay. Do you know what the difference is? This is the example I use. Okay, your first kid is like it's like having no dog, and then you have a dog. Right, and then all these responsibilities happen. Like you could just leave the house whenever you wanted. You can go to the movies, do whatever you want. You could just go on holiday. You wouldn't have to care about anything. But then you have a dog, right? Well, guess what? You can't just like leave the. You can't just like ditch. You have to feed the dog. The dog will die if you don't give it, water, all the stuff. But then once you got one dog, the difference between going from one dog to two dogs, it's not. You still couldn't leave the house anyway, and you still have to make sure that someone's looking after them. You still have to feed the dogs, like, and then it's like going from 2 dogs to 3 dogs. I mean, at this point here, it's like not even a big deal. Not a big deal.
Mhm. 3 dogs.
Right.
Yeah.
Interesting.
It's like dogs,
So you
but
excited to get
honestly,
your first
like,
dogs? Is
I'm very excited. I've always wanted kids, so I'm very excited. And
Kids? I thought we were talking about dogs. What?
no, I'm very much looking forward to it.
we just established same thing.
Right,
We're actually like I'm taking a leaf out of Quinn's book. I'm actually gonna try a subathon. Partly just like I don't know. I have a lot of. I'm sure you guys have the same, or at least I do. I have a lot of anxiety about taking time off, so I'm gonna do a 2-week subathon. And then I was never a big fan of the meteor share thing, but Helena had the great idea that while I'm sleeping, she's gonna play, and chat is gonna teach her playing Path of Exile. So that's what we're gonna do for the downtime.
Mm-hmm.
who did that? Someone did that one. Someone did that archetype. Where was it? Crip? So who did it?
Not sure.
Someone had that exact format recently.
I'm not sure.
What had someone else sit in during downtime?
They had someone else sit in for Oh, it was Tally. Yeah, Tally. Tally did that exact thing. Where
Nice.
Lula came in whenever T-Dog was. Oh, speaking of Tally, T-Dog's playing. He's sponsored to play Path of Exile, so we're gonna see him playing PoE.
Oh, nice. Also,
Hammers up in the chat.
we have another tweet from Path of Exile. This is actually very interesting. Tainted Divine Teardrop unpredictably raises or lowers the tier of each modifier on a corrupted rare item.
What? That could be insane on weapons, right?
Yeah.
Like just getting T1. Like
Yep.
holy shit.
Yep.
Literally broken.
Wait, it's like
I mean,
better than a
lowering,
normal.
lowering would be hilarious, right? But yeah.
Why can't we just get it on normal items? I guess we just put a normal item into the corruption chamber thing, and then we just use that, right?
Yeah.
I guess the idea, I think I know what they're doing here. Remember at the start of the podcast, we were saying how it's kind of lame that they're bricking corruption. They're changing corruption from this rare, you corrupt it, you can't change it, right? And that's sort of like, but the payoff is like implicit and whatever, right? Well, now you want to intentionally corrupt stuff to then do this, right? To then modify it further. You know what I mean? So now there's a reason for corruption to exist. Again, they're kind of like, changing corruption from what it was to something new, where you can now modify it via these special orbs. Right?
So they need to get rid of the
corruption.
beastcraft this league then, because that's like a safe way of getting your item corrupted, and you don't want that.
Ah.
Because otherwise, yeah, for a lot of shit, you'd be like, oh
Yeah.
yeah, okay, I'm ready to try and do some tainted shit on this. I'll just go beastcraft it.
Yeah.
You
Well,
can
you
save
got the
corrupt with
tech.
the league mechanic, right? I think the league
Wow.
mechanic is still safe because you can do it 3 times, right?
I'm-
So like,
Right.
You
True, everything's
could,
gonna be corrupted now. Yeah.
you could up getting 3 things that are really detrimental for your build. So it's not safe. Whereas the best tier one is literally safe. But I agree, it is a fairly low risk in
Let's
3
put-
tries that you're gonna get 3.
Can you taint a corrupted item?
But this orb
Like,
is
can you
only for
taint-
corrupted items.
Like, can you? No, so say you have a corrupted. Say you had like a sick weapon and you like beast corrupted it, so then you could use the
Isn't it
teardrop, and then
just
you land the
tier 1?
teardrop.
So then you can
You-
go into tier 2 and 3, I think.
Can you then put your corrupted, tainted, teardropped X into your socket hole?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you can.
Yeah, I think that's
You
how it
can?
works. I think that counts as a tier 1, right?
Mhm.
Or maybe it's not even. But yeah, I think you can.
That's hot.
Very interesting.
hmm
Very interesting league. It's definitely going to shake things up a lot. Wow.
Yep.
Yeah. That's the main things I wanted to talk about. I would want to bring up, they have said hard mode is most likely coming hopefully this league, they were saying. Is that something you would all play? What and what would you play? Would you play softcore, hardcore SSF? Personally, I would most likely go hardcore trade league hard mode.
Probably makes most sense.
That's what I'm doing.
Like, yeah, I might give it a shot when it comes out, just depending on how things go, the timing of it, and all that. But I imagine,
Yo.
run a few characters through it or something. Give it a shot.
What are you doing, softcore or
Hardcore
hardcore?
trade group round. Hardcore trade group round. Eh?
That'd be
You
fun.
know, the boys. The boys.
Do you want to be leashed that early?
No logouts. Eh?
I don't know about no
Ah.
logouts, but I would be down for a group fun with the 4 of us. That would be fun.
How realistic
Oh,
is
don't-
that for you specifically, Ziz? Because
We don't have to play together. We can trade together.
We all have to link to each other, so then when we set
Yeah.
it up in a system where where one of us dies, we all die.
Oh no.
3 leashes attached to Quinn.
With 400 ping?
It'd be
Ugh.
poggers.
Okay. Yeah, okay.
Can you guys play on NA?
Nah,
Nah, I think with 3 of us,
Fuck.
I think we play on AU.
All right. What are flights to Australia looking like?
Uh,
Yeah, right.
yeah, come on down, mate. Water's fine. Man, it's
Man.
about time, to be honest. Come to a real country.
Oh. But yeah, no, that's pretty much all the topics I really wanted to talk about. Unless, is there anything extra you guys didn't feel was discussed that you want to talk about?
I mean, we didn't talk about the Royale coming up or any
Oh.
fucking real D2 action, I guess, or anything else like that.
Yeah, we can talk about both those things. When is the Royale? Is it a week after launch? Oh, true. We can
No,
also
isn't
talk
it
about
soon?
uniques. That's a good point. The new uniques are very exciting.
I didn't really look at the date of the Royale. I just
28th.
saw the invite and I was like, fuck, I gotta do this again.
It's
I just wasn't
It's
keen.
1 week after, I think, or the 28th for the Twitch rivals, and the big difference this time, it's not in a group anymore, which I wish it was. I thought the group thing was really, really fun. It was really impressive watching you fucking two go at it with that ping. That was insane how well you guys did.
Really? You
Yeah.
did well?
No, I
Okay,
was
fair
expecting you
We
guys
bumped
to be
up.
like literally the first to go because of the ping alone. Like it's so insane.
So he's comparing you two to how me and Gucci did. That's why he's saying you guys did really well. 'Cause we got farmed. It was horrible. Math. I said no. I'm not doing that again.
Oh, you
I
turned
said,
this one down. Shit.
I don't want to do that again.
It's
It was
depressing, eh?
terrible.
Yeah.
I must admit,
yeah.
it's I'm thinking about not doing it.
Quinn
I'm
killed
considering
me.
it,
I
It's
mean, we had,
terrible.
we had, we had
annihilated,
fun
bro.
because, Quinn's a fucking riot by himself. But I do remember basically it was more or less 5 hours of just like being depressed.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
the attempting to play it, I was just sitting there like, oh my fucking god, dude! Like, what am I even?
Whenever
What am I?
Havoc, whenever Havoc and Tai were on the screen, it's like, oh my god.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Eric's been practicing. He's been like, I was watching that cunt. Like, he just continuously was playing it as well.
Yep.
And even after, like the week after, he was still playing, and the week after, like he was still playing. So I mean, he's gonna just fucking. I mean, it is not gonna be an enjoyable experience to just be a noob in that, like with lag.
To be fair,
Yeah,
like
Did
the
you
way-
sign up, Quinn? Are you doing this?
I've not signed up. I've not signed up, but I might. I don't know. Maybe I'll just do it. YOLOs. I don't know.
Just to save Bethel, I guess. Just to save him some grief. I don't know.
Ugh.
I mean, it's going to be solo this time around, so I think it won't be as bad because I won't have to take fights and shit, and I will just be able to play full coward if I need to.
Right.
And a lot of the time, it's just about making it to the circle, or like becoming top 20 with zero fucking gear, and you rack up enough of those, and you end up being like top 10, and it's not too bad. But it won't be much of a event to do anything or have like a huge amount of fun unless you are playing NA. It's still a very scuffed system, I think.
Can you relate? Can you relate to this?
So obviously I didn't have any lag problems at all during this, but it was still like pretty intense whenever you saw like Havoc and shit on the screen. It was like, oh no, fuck, dude, we didn't have any movement ability this run. It's over. So yeah, it was. I don't know. I am excited though. I do wish it was group format still. I thought that was very interesting. So I do wish they continue doing that, but they are mixing it up. But there's some sort of boss now, which sounds very RNG to me. It sounds like if it has like crazy drops, like whenever you get a
I mean, the
quill
whole
rain or
thing's
something.
already RNG.
Sure, but
I
if you
thought there already was a boss. Wasn't like Tai and Havoc? Like,
true, true.
I mean, yeah, that's honestly like worse. I'd more welcome just some giant rower or some shit that's like, maybe you can dodge it or something, as opposed to being like level 3 and some level 10 just comes up and stomps you and you're just like, okay, I'm dead.
Yeah, true. But yeah, that's pretty exciting. I really do wonder, like, if did they say they were going to continue with Twitch Rivals, or sorry, with Battle Royale after League? I can't remember. I think they were saving it for special events now, right?
They're gonna make it a special events, yeah.
Yeah.
Because no one's fucking playing.
Yeah, it started very early too. It's more something better for like the end of the league kind of thing, I think. But yeah, there's not too much to talk about with the rivals, but like the new unique items. Obviously, I'm always hungering for things to chase and stuff. There's so many cool ones, like the belt, the Mage Bane. Is it called Mage Bane? Mage Hunter?
Mage Blood.
Mage Blood. Disfavor was super buffed. It's oh wait, no, never mind. I forgot that one. It's a
Edge.
normal Edzeri item now.
Aw.
Very sad. The Ulnatol amulet and the really cool shield and the really cool gloves. Like there's some spicy items this league. Quinn, any in particular that you mentioned earlier? You really like the shield?
Well, no, I thought the shield was bullshit. I think the shield is like completely overpowered.
Oh.
Like, are you kidding me? It's completely ridiculous, like unnecessary infinite damage. No, I'm down for like chase uniques, but like, dog, if the unique only needs to be like twice as good. It doesn't need to be like 3 times as good or 5 times as good. You know what? Because what's the point? Like, what's the point of it being that like? Because you could, dude, you've seen the mods, right? Like the elder weapons, which have like 129 fizz damage, and then it's also supported by melee fizz, and like whatever it is, like attack speed with ruthless, and you can have these weapons which you'll be running around with 10 links. 12 wings, like whatever, like just stupid. Isn't there like a weapon? Isn't there a unique that has like a level 30 smite in it? Isn't that a thing?
Yeah, it's
Like a one-hand
support weapon normally. Yeah. It's a scepter or something.
What?
Sin
Well, I don't know.
Eater something. Yeah, another one though. Yeah, the Sin
It
one.
just seems completely broken. It just seems completely, unnecessarily powerful. Where
Unnecessarily. I think you could use the damage.
Wow, Jesus.
mate, I'm down for a unique that is twice as good as any other unique in the game. I'm down for that, but like 3 times as good, or like because it's just you understand. I've seen Diablo 3. I come from Diablo 3, okay, and just giving people like another 1.4 multiplier and a 1.3 multiplier and another 1.3 multiplier, and they will multiply with each other, and then you just have like all these multipliers stacking on top of multipliers. It's like, I don't know. I've got PTSD. I've got D3 PTSD. And it's like, you don't want to see that happen. Obviously, it's only one item, and I expect it to get a hotfixed or nerfed before it gets into the game, but they haven't nerfed it yet. Whereas they did nerf the fucking build I was going to go that I was excited about, like the Reflect setup. That looked poggers. And that's getting nerfed.
Wait, that got
They haven't nerfed this item, so... Yeah, they nerfed it. It's deleted.
It?
They just removed it. It's just fucking... You cannot get the Reflect stat anymore. Like, whatever you mitigate is reflected at 500% of the value.
Oh, they didn't think about it. Oh, that's actually really interesting. Is that for real?
FR, bro. FR.
good.
They straight up nerfed, but they
For
didn't
real,
nerf
for
the unit.
real.
So I mean, shit. And then was there a belt that just says your pots are just on permanently?
Yeah,
Like,
Yeah, the mage
don't
blood.
get me
very
wrong.
strong.
Honestly, I think that's how. Like, dude, if they just made all utility flasks permanent, I think that would be a superior flask system to the current flask system in the game. You know, maybe they're just using that as an item to experiment with that flask system. Who knows? I guess we're gonna,
I mean, that's
find
not
out.
a flask, then. That's just a buff.
Well, I think the flask system currently is trash, like, right? And they're making the fucking, and it's what the belt's doing, right? So it's like, I think passive flasks would be better than these active, like, piano flasks. That's what I'm saying.
I mean, they've already taken steps to fix various things you can do at this point. Surely
And then
you
they reverted it all.
say it's
And
better than
then
it
they
was.
reverted it.
Yeah, but the
They were taking
system's still
steps,
there for
and
you
then
to do
everyone
that.
cried, and they basically reverted it to old flasks.
I'm saying
Like,
the
let's be
system's
real.
still there for you to like not piano as much, right? If you don't want to.
Yeah, you can have auto flask now if you want.
Yeah. I'm going to be. I'm going to, like, fuck the piano flasks. Although, to be fair, like, passive flasks sound even better than,
Yeah.
like, some
Just have-
weird, like, script automatic flask thing.
I had a thought about when you were talking about the uniques, and you're so sad about disfavor and all that. Says I can't even remember when. Like, maybe I just don't watch your stream enough, or keep track of this shit. When's the last time you made a melee build?
Well, did I have one last night? Either last night or the league before.
What was it?
Can't remember. Let me go look at my RIP playlist.
Exactly my point. You're just like, come on, man, disfavor and shit, but you don't fucking.
I
do
used to
stuff like
main
that.
melee. Like,
Yeah. And then things changed, and now you fucking love the super easy fucking ranged spell cuck, exact opposite
Last
of Quinn
league.
matter.
last thing
What'd
I
you play?
had ground slam. Bears.
Did you? Ground Slam, what, champion or some shit?
No, was it a juggernaut? It was using the Maxolotls Machination for the like super
Right.
tanky one. That was really fun. I enjoyed that. That was like one of my favorite things, but it somehow died. I just got hit by like 8, 9 things at the same time. But it was like, actually the tankiest character I've ever had, even though it died. So yeah,
Alright.
I do still play melee. And
well-
and the thing about disfavor for me, and why I was hoping they would buff it instead, was just the fact that it was by the time you actually kill Uber Zeri, it's not exactly good in power. And they fixed that by putting it at normal Zeri. I wasn't entirely
Yeah.
happy with that.
No, it was a shit change as well. Like, I thought it would have been nice to have a bit more, buff to it, so it's a bit more of a chase item. And
Yeah.
I agree. When I first read that, I was like, oh, what the fuck? That
Yeah,
hardly does anything. But okay.
yeah, it was for me very disappointing, I would say. Steel, what about you?
Yeah.
Any other new uniques you're really looking forward to?
I mean, I was gonna play Hardcore Trade, so I was kind of looking forward to them. Yeah, I was hoping to get a Mage Blood, but if I play SSF SC, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to get it. So
True.
I guess I'll maybe I don't know. Maybe I'll just get lucky, dude.
Well, you
Yeah,
are a
just get
steel
lucky, right?
mage.
Yeah.
But yeah, Mage Blood looks awesome. I love that so much because what you do, Ruby, Sapphire, Topaz, 40% or 50% less elemental damage taken, and it solves your resistance problems. Like, oh my god, I love that build. That'd be so nice. But yeah, I don't know if I'll be able to get it, eh?
And then your flasks don't do anything else, right? Like, you spent all your flasks on a bit of resist and defense, which is
Yeah,
nice,
that's
but
amazing.
loses the
Yeah.
power on other shit, right?
I'll just say right now, my flasks were not up during my 20-minute Maven fight in the Gauntlet. They were down permanent. I mean, they would yeah. In a 20-minute fight, those flasks are up for like 5 seconds and they're gone. So, I'll take it.
It's
Sure.
pretty cool. I really like them. It will be really interesting for boss killing. I really hope I get one. I'm definitely going to be trying to. You can chance for it, right? It was a global drop pool. Did they say yet?
Apparently, Chris mentioned it while he was talking with Ziggy that it's a global drop, supposedly.
Yeah, I'm going to be chancing. I don't usually chance for items anymore, but I'm going to be chancing and junning for that. Yeah,
You
it's,
got that
doing
new
SSF?
chance up, right? The tainted
Or you
chance.
trade?
huh?
Yeah, there's tainted chance. I was asking, are you SSF or are you trade?
Yeah, I'm SSF. I just especially when I play a lot, I feel like I run out of things. I love that feeling of everything being a chase item, even like an Eye of Chayula and things that are maybe common. I love that and collecting things. I think it's a lot more fun for me.
Right. So
Any
there's a good chance that you don't see some of this stuff though, and you don't get to play with it.
Yeah, but then I have that to look forward to for the next time. Like I think that's a good thing. You don't
And
need
if
to
he-
do everything.
And if he
instantly.
does
And-
get it, think about it. Hey, think about the fucking orgasm he's gonna have, Metal. He's gonna be coming. Okay.
That's exactly
Versus
what I want
just
to
getting
do. Think about the Zizaran orgasm.
I mean, he's gonna be the one and sitting there coming like multiple times a day, and you'll be on there and soft quad. Just your dopamine sensors are all like they're all like completely spent because you're just constantly just getting any item you want instantly, instant gratification, Andy. Okay. And meanwhile,
Yeah.
Ziz will get like one item, dude, and he'll just be like, "Oh!" You've seen his face, right? You've seen the clips.
Yeah, there's highs and there's lows, and I'm just coasting to
dead.
nice, acceptable level. Going, this is nice. I'm enjoying
Bunker.
everything, pretty good. Whereas you guys, at one point, best thing ever. Another point, I want to kill myself. I don't know. It's a trade-off, and I'm happy to take that because I get that orgasming in other aspects of my life.
Nice.
Thatch.
Is that from climbing?
Not that. Not that. Don't worry. Also, Sag.
High five,
It's
Quinn. High
more
five.
like, hey, I go climbing and fucking yay, climbing's the best. And maybe I'll fucking go hang out with some people. Fucking yeah, that's cool. Trust me, nothing's going on.
And about uniques, Mathel, was there anything that really stood out to you out of all the new ones?
Man, it's hard to say because you got to take all of them with a grain of salt and be like, yeah, will I ever see this thing? Or is it really that rare? Mage Blood definitely was one I thought that was pretty cool because it's versatile. Like you can go a steel mage thing with all the resists. You can go with just all the defensive flasks, armors, evasions, shit like that. You can go with pure utilities. It's a pretty customizable item. I thought that was cool.
Yeah.
And also, yeah, it's very wrist friendly. You don't have to like ever press a flask again while doing that shit.
What about the
I can't
amulet?
really think of much else. The amulet was cool, I thought, for sure. Like you can get, a lot of extra power there with all kinds of annoyance. But then again, we kind of want to fucking spec into stuff in masteries, so
True.
that changed things up a bit.
I do like that about the amulet though, that apparently you can corrupt it because the helmet has the same wording and you can corrupt it and it keeps both the annoyance. So if it breaks, it could end up being like insane.
Okay, yeah.
Mm.
So I don't know. I'm kind of just assuming I probably won't be seeing any of these items unless I like invest a lot and that sort of thing. Because I typically don't go for super powerful gear unless I find it myself. Because it just seems like too easy,
Yeah. Yeah, no, I think you've always had a really good approach on that because when I play Trade League, like I always try to min max, and like I was saying about I had one build where I bought everything by the time I was in tier 1 maps, and I was like, shit, I have nothing to go from here. So you have a really good way of dealing with that.
Oh yeah, like the whole point of that is if you like do your min max and you guarantee all your best shit and you go, yeah, I can get that, put it all on. It's like it's a guarantee win scenario, right?
Yep.
You're like, okay, yeah, I know it's gonna be just good. I'm gonna do very good DPS, have very good defense, and it's just a win. Whereas it's more about seeing what you can get away with the amount you have or the budget you have or whatever, and see if you can still make it good.
Yeah, no, I think that's why I'm like drawn to solo self fun because I don't really have that like discipline that you have with that.
Fair.
Quinn, more about the unique items. Anything else? The amulet.
Anything else? The amulet looks insane, but if you have like infinite oils, which I don't do enough of blighted content to do it. But yeah, the painters are at my house waiting outside. So I'm gonna have to boost in a second.
We can wrap up now anyway. That was all the topics covered
Easy.
and more. So this is a perfect time to end anyway. Let's get a big clap for chat joining us. And Mathel, where can we find more of your content?
here next time you bully me into another one of these, I guess. Because fuck, relentless. Obviously, Twitch TV, Mathel1, I stream like plenty, 8 hours a day or something like that. Usually about midway through a stream at this time of day. So, plus or take 4 hours, usually about when I'm on. And Instagram, I do various climbing stuff. I think it's Mathel exists. Twitter, I just also Mathel exists, I think. And I get to see literally everything that Zizaran likes, comments, retweets, all that sort of shit. He's a very active. Oh wait, yeah, shit. I needed to call you out on this. Yo, can you stop like fucking commenting on every Path of Exile post and just being like cool or okay?
No, it's
At
free.
least add something of fucking substance as
It's
opposed
free
to just like being
engagement.
pure network Andy over here.
I can't. I'm me. I can't do anything else. It works really well. It works really well. You got to play the algorithms. It's great. I love it.
Shameless.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, that was my piece. And yeah, and I also sometimes do YouTube videos. Yep.
Nice. It's free real estate. Steel Mage, what about you?
I feel like you should just let the Quinn sign off so he can go. Cause he's like, he
Yeah.
doesn't jump out of the chair.
Am I gonna ruin the thing if I just straight up leave the call?
No, you can do.
Literally,
Okay,
like-
Quinn69
Alright,
everywhere.
easy.
Great streamer. It's fine.
Yeah,
you
yeah,
can leave.
yeah. Well, I won't ask. You can't even find me, bro, because I'm gonna be at the hospital with my pregnant wife. It
Dude,
goes up.
congratulations, man. Oh, fuck.
Damn.
All right, and
Hung up on.
I know.
Yo,
Okay,
I'm Quinn.
still.
I always knew it.
Quinn
Quinn
Rex.
Light.
Quinn Rex. Where can we find
Did
more
you
about
get
you?
all of a sudden way more alpha?
Yeah. Actually playing hardcore SSF next league. Yeah, and actually doing
Bone
content.
shatter. Let's go.
Yeah. Yeah, jug self-harm. Alright, yeah, I mean, I just stream, that's all I do. Yep. And sometimes I shitpost in Twitch chat. That's me. Yep.
That's fair.
Twitch TV/SteelMage. Mm-hmm.
Nice. And I'm Zizaran. I'll be potentially doing a subathon. Well, 99% confirmed doing a subathon at League Start with my wife, wife to be. And yeah, really looking forward to Scourge expansion. And yeah, just Zizaran everywhere. Zizaran everywhere. Thank you guys for watching the podcast. And again, huge thanks to Mathel, Quinn, and Steel for letting me rope them into this. Thank you guys so much.